And what a shot from Kirica, taking that off the ceiling, underneath the ball, and straight down the middle.
Oh, there it is, out of the blue!
2 seconds left on the clock and the Joker finds something out of nothing!
Now, that pass from Shadow was immaculate, playing it straight down center. Hecky just had to get a touch, and it's all he needed.
Sonic has a chance, it's an open net if he sees it. Looking for the shot downfield, goes into the corner, Kilogram! He gets the goal!
They're just in front of the net. Nuke barely keeps it out there, dies on the goal line. The long shot, it finds it through. Entity gonna pick it up.
We are live, we are here, we are ready. A long season of RSC Season 3 in SSA has come to the business end. We are in playoffs week. We have playoffs coming at you every day until Thursday. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Starting tonight with the prospect tier. And we have 2 streams going. We have this we're calling the A stream, and then we have the B stream, and we're going to be popping in the link in a moment so you know where to go to watch the B stream. But let's start off with our usual. Firstly, let's thank our sponsors, the 2 organizations that have made this season possible. First, Nexa giving us the prize pool, and if you're paying attention to the Discord, you will see how that prize pool of 18,000 Rand is being distributed among the tiers. So thank you very much to Nexa. Huge big up to them. And then, of course, our broadcast sponsors, Genisus Extreme, bringing you this broadcast and every league play broadcast during the course of this season. So thank you very much to them. And then moving on from there, we have this week is your last chance to order merch. If you want this t-shirt, the iconic RSC Season 3 t-shirt, you got to order it by Friday, because we're going to get into printing these next week. All the money goes right back into the league, and the 3 top channel point holders by the end of Thursday will get themselves a free t-shirt. I have put in chat the link. That is for our B stream. A Rhino will be streaming, so go and follow that and have it on your other tab so you can keep track of both matches being played simultaneously. There is our calendar. You can see all the league play is grayed out. That means it is done. It is dusted. It's in the past. We are now at the 11th of November. Bottom left on the screen, prospect playoffs. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight, starting with our prospect team. And we are doing play-ins and playoffs, and I will explain to you in a moment how that all works. But there you see, top of the log, the Jokers, undefeated for the season. They have booked a spot in the semi-finals, along with XP Cubs. They're in the other semi-final, waiting for the winners of Omega Force and Accelerate, and the winners of Tswana and Cassia. Those 2 games are our playoff games. Position number 3 plays position number 6, and position 4 plays position 5. The winner of those 2 matches will move forward to meet either the Jokers or the Cubs. And there you see it on the screen. That's how it all works. Play-ins number 2, that we're going to have on our stream, Omega Force versus Accelerate. And over on Rhino's stream will be Tswana versus Cassia. The winner of Omega Force and Accelerate will go forward to play Jokers. And that will be on our stream. And the winner of Tswana, I beg your pardon, let me say that again. Tswana and Cassia play semi-final over on our stream. The winner of Omega Force and Accelerate will play the Cubs over on Rhino's stream. And then we have the grand finals. And what that all means is that tonight we will crown our first Season 3 champions. The prospect champions of RSC and SSA will be known by the end of the night. So to bring us our first play-in series will be Skilton and TheBromeo. Bromeo, we have arrived at the end. And just like every other season, no matter how far in the future you plan it, no matter how crazy it is, we get to this point. We get to playoffs. And for my money, Bromeo, Prospect Tier is the entertainment hub of RSC. I love the prospects.
I agree with you there completely. Speaking as a prospect myself, Prospect Tier is where it all begins, and that's where it starts. So it's fitting that we start tonight with the Prospect Tier. It has been a long 9-week journey here till now, but this is the finish line. We've only got 6 teams left. At the end of this round, there will only be 4. So I am excited to see this one on the go.
Now, we have the Jokers. They are, well, the match that's coming up, the Jokers and the Cubs are waiting for the winners of the play-ins games. But over on the B stream, we have DSQ Cassia versus UnitOx Swana. And they played each other last week, and it was a dead heat. It was a draw. So Skilton, big things going on there. I think no clear favorite on the other side. I mean, finishing 4 and 5, it is close as you can be over on the B stream.
I mean, DSQ Cassia have a lot to fulfill with their franchise, right? I mean, DSQ are at the top of the board in all of the divisions. If Cassia can push this could be the final nail in the coffin for them to really secure themselves for this week. But one thing to say as well is Omega Force and RE Accelerate, I mean, they're only different by 2 wins. That is it. It is dead even in this like 6-3 bracket list. I mean, for both games on the A stream and the B stream here today, I honestly don't know who's going to win.
Omega Force and Accelerate, Omega Force do have the upper hand there, Bromeo, having won. They played each other all the way back in week 3, and it was a 3-1 in favor of Omega Force. But a lot of water has passed under the bridge. This is going to be a best of 5. Gentlemen, I'm going to hand it over to you. Bring us a banger.
Oh, here we go. Greybeard, like he said, this has already been predetermined as an Omega Force, favorite, but do not write off Redirect Accelerate. They have had a resurgent late season. They have fought their way into the play-ins, and now it is their chance to shine. I can see that everybody is predicting in the chat, and currently it's 100% towards Omega Force. So Skilton, what do we think?
To be honest, yeah, I mean, Omega Force are only winning by 2 games here, which, it at the end of the day does mean a lot. But when you want to be in the 3rd seed of this bracket, usually you're expecting more confidence when going against the 6th. But I mean, both teams have honestly shown to, have a lot of potential in this prospect bracket. That being said, RE Accelerate have been falling off quite a lot in the past couple of weeks, but it doesn't mean that they're going to have a huge resurgence in this playoff stage, because this is what matters now. It is do or die for these teams.
Completely agree with you. And for the viewers at home, this is no longer a 4-game series. This is a best of 5. There can only be 1 winner. There are no draws. So like you said, Skilton, Redirect are going to have to pull up their socks here, and they've got to have a good showing against this Critical Force team of Coconut, Jakes the Snake, Bruv, and Swifty Rocks. Bruv and Swifty being the management pairing of Critical Force, and Coconut Coconut and Jakes the Snake, who also is a new signing, who has brought a lot of firepower to this roster. So they are a dangerous team, make no mistake. But I'm pretty confident of a decent showing by Redirect. This is Knockout Rocket League, and I can't predict an outcome. I know chat is busy saying that Critical Force has got this every day. They might be right, but I'm still hopeful of a game 5 here.
I mean, you would hope so, being the 3rd seed, but again, what we're seeing between 3 and 7 on the bracket is that everyone has 4 draws. As we go into this best of 5, it's going to be completely different. And here we're seeing from the RE Accelerate team, we're seeing Ruyum, Weaver, Dark Adept, and Razor. I mean, they've all shown a really good performance throughout the season. But again, like, we're seeing 4 draws here. That does not mean anything in this best of 5 format.
It doesn't indeed. I know that there's been some very big showings by Vion this season, so he will need to bring out all guns tonight against this very strong Critical Force team who did finish 3rd. This is a 3rd place versus 6th place playoff, so it is possibly the most unbalanced of the play-ins, but that doesn't mean we haven't seen plenty of upsets in RSC history so far. So as we're leading into it, the final chat standings of the prediction currently read Critical Force 98%, but now it is time to see if that prediction is correct. It is time for the prospect play-ins, and man, am I excited.
I couldn't agree more with you, as the engines are starting to roar on the pitch today. 5 minutes on the clock. Who is going to be able to get the first game of the series, as it's starting to look quite nicely for the Omega Force. They have the touch onto the core of RE Accelerate, bouncing off the side of the board. Bit of back and forth action here, but it's going quite close to the goal already. To be denied. Really nice play there from Jake, passing it, dribbling it all the way to the other side once again. And the setup's there, but it's denied. Really good defense from RE Accelerate so far.
Redirect having a bit of the touches going their way so far. Just in case you didn't know, it is Omega Force taking the shots. They're in blue. Redirect Accelerate in the gray. And a missed opportunity there from Jakes the Snake. A little pre-match jitters means that Accelerate get out of jail here as Omega Force start turning the screws. They've got the possession so far as Jakes the Snake misses another, and he's going to play it back and possibly launch a counter here. He's in there. He's going to take the shot. It's going to hit the crossbar and out of jail again.
Yeah, that is not ideal, but once again, this is what you could say is the warm-up game of the series, right? First game, everyone's cold. As the engines do start to warm everyone up, it should start to escalate a lot faster. That being said, both sides are really just playing quite safely. Not going for anything too fancy as of yet, but Bruyan, eyes on him as he has the ball, but no boost to back it up. So that's going to be Cornflakes going in here into the corner. Once again, Bruv just missing the ball. Really unfortunate there, but the ball's going to be dribbled to the side of Omega Force, back to the side of Accelerate. And neither team, both teams are currently trying to get the ball in, and Bruv finally finds it. The nice aerial there to redirect it from the corner of the goal.
Brilliant last little touch there by Bruv. The GM extraordinaire for Critical Force leading from the front. And now Omega Force are up 1-0. That's a little bit less of some pressure on them now, as they'll look to extend this one, but it has been very back and forth so far. There hasn't been much in the way of setup of attacking play, just area possession and pressure so far. There hasn't been too many shots on goal, and this looks a little bit dangerous. A demo there on Dark Adept, and Bruv is definitely putting his stamp on this game as Omega Force trying to get another shot in, and wow, cleared there by Dark Adept, and a very timely save.
Yeah, really good save. And that is really going to put Omega Force in the lead here. Just keeping that. They can play as defensive as they like. Instead, the force of aggression here Going onto the post, but that's fine. They still have another opportunity set up. Cornflakes bats it into the other corner. Brilliant is now going to utilize that. Denied by Jakes the Snake. Unfortunately, doesn't find the aerial to connect it. Instead, it's going to be the team help with the helping hand. Onto the backboard once again. This could be the setup they need to get their second goal. Cornflakes just hitting the post again. And that's going to give Weaver an opportunity to counter, but doesn't quite find it. Jakes the Snake has caught the aerial onto the ceiling. Back into the corner. Cornflakes. He has the eye on the setup, but is denied by Dark Adept. The redirects. Vryan doesn't get to follow. And Bruv has set up the ball only for Dark Adept once again to be the spanner in the works of Omega Force.
Oh, but this has been very back and forth. A little shot there by Omega Force. He's going to try and make the shot. It hits the post. And that has been the best opportunity Omega Force has had in a while. And in a game where the score is so little, there's only one goal separating here as Omega Force tries again, but blocked fantastically by Vian van Rooyen. And Jakes the Snake now with a little bit of possession, tries to put the pass off. It's a little bit off, but it doesn't look like Redirect Accelerate has had a lot of attacking opportunity here as they've been under siege by Omega Force. The very confident Omega Force. And Vian making another stop there. If there's a shot on now, there might be a little bit of trouble. But Dark Adept clearing it, bumped over Vian van Rooyen. And what a shot that was. As you can see in the little bit of a replay here, it is Dark Adept doinked by Vian van Rooyen straight over the defense. And there we go. We have an equalizer. 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, that such a beautiful bump there from Vryan. And 30 seconds left on the clock, as you say, is going to put both teams potentially in overtime, as we've seen it be such a slow and steady fight for the goals so far. The defenses of both sides have been really strong. That being said, Cornflakes looking for the angle, and he finds it almost straight off kickoff. 15 seconds left on the clock, and RE Accelerate have to find a goal in this time, maybe using the 0-second rule on top, but it's looking dire. The kickoff, Vryan pushes it into the corner. And here we see Dark Adept just missing 10 seconds left. And Cornflakes has found the opening, and that might be the third. Hits the post, but it doesn't matter. Ball in the sky, and the 0-second rule will not save RE Accelerate for the first game of the series.
Oh, what a game that was. And you feel like Redirect had their chance there at the death to take it. But we're hearing from the other game, Tswana and Cassia in overtime in game number 1. So this is turning out to be a very, very close evening of prospect action. This game right here, right now, Critical Force taking the first game, best of 5 in 2-1 goals with the MVP, Cornflakes.
Yeah, I mean, Cornflakes really did have a standout performance there. I think Bruv as well, being able to get that initial goal, really gave the acceleration, gave the momentum for Critical Force. No pun intended for RE Accelerate. But what I do find interesting is, you know, Dark Adept, I found, was really such a key maker on this RE Accelerate team. But no one was really able to follow up. So in game 2, as you know, the engines warm up, I'm really curious to see what the new strats are going to be for RE Accelerate.
And we're just hearing Kasia have taken game number 1, and we will be keeping you updated as these games progress. But now back to the game at hand. Redirect are down a game. They've got to have to pick up their socks here in game number 2. Skilton was saying they need to put some passes together. They need to put in the pressure. But right now, they need to stop the aerial offense of Jake the Snake, who's gaining in confidence as this game progresses. So the earlier they mitigate this potent Omega Force attack, the easier it will be for Accelerate, don't you think?
I couldn't agree more, as Dark Adept is going to bat it into the side of Omega Force's half. This could be an opportunity as Vryan is pushing it into the corner, but we've seen James the Snake, when he has this ball, Doesn't quite find the opportunity this time, though, as Bruv is going to be dribbling it instead. Denied by Bruyan. Instead, actually, going to bat forth. And now James the Snake has the angle. Finds it with less than a minute into the game. This is such a good start for Omega Force already.
Oh, what a demo on Weaver. That was the play indeed. It wasn't an open net until that demo came in. And I just love to see a good demo, especially at prospect level where you're gaining those skills. And to set up Omega Force's first goal in that sort of dominant manner, it's definitely laying the psychological pieces together. But now, Bjorn van Rooyen puts the shot through into the corner. Unfortunately, gives up possession, but saved by Dark Adept on the backboard. But shot coming in, couldn't make the save. That's Bruv for another.
Yeah, I mean, this dynamic duo on the side of Omega Force has really been smashing through RE Accelerate's defenses. The momentum is not there for this team as of yet. Dark Adept's been showing some nice plays in the shadows, but Bruyan and Weaver just need to, you know, find the pieces to put them together. We've still got 3 minutes 45 left on the clock. Accelerate, that's more than enough time to find 2 goals.
Oh, but it is looking very tough for Accelerate right now. They have to do something different because Omega Force are running riot, and almost another one there. They've got to regroup. They've got to reset because right now Omega Force is running circles around them. Jake's the Snake with a little bit of early pressure there. Omega Force retreating to the back. Not keen to concede just yet, but the touches need to get Accelerate out of their own half so that they can start laying an attack forward. Because right now, 2 goals down, it is not looking good for Accelerate. They've got to try something different now as Dark Adept gets absolutely bumped out of the way. And Omega Force are taking no prisoners right now.
Yeah, I mean, RE Accelerate are really struggling to win these 1v1 contests against their opponents. Omega Force just smash through every time, and this is a perfect opportunity for the counter. Bruyan is going to be able to find it, but it still sets up Cornflakes. Oh, Weaver's going to find his way through the middle. Denied by Bruv, but is in the corner. The setup could be here, but we haven't quite seen it in this prospect match as of yet. Cornflakes looking to seal the deal. Jakes is going to give the setup, but it's not quite enough. Instead, we're going to be seeing Weaver pass it back onto the side of Jakes.
Ooh.
Dark Adepts, very nice, but finds the post. This could be it for them. It's not again. As it hits the post, bounces it back, and the counter-attack for Omega Force is in fruition. Into the corner. Cornflakes puts it, but doesn't have the boost. This could be one for Jakes, and it is. 3-0 for Omega Force. This is looking like a breeze for them.
Well, Jake's the Snake getting the touch. It wasn't a hard shot, but it was a direct. And we're hearing from the other game, it is Kasia 1-0 to Swana halfway through game number 2, as Kasia is ascending a little bit on a very resurgent Swana side. So we will keep you posted there. But right now, back in the action, Omega Force is up 3-0 right now with 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock. It is still possible for Accelerate to come forward now, but they're running out of time. Dark Adept not being able to get the touch there, but they are starting to gain a little bit of field possession here as they start turning the screws somewhat and trying to form somewhat of an attack as Dark Adept takes the shot across, but covered.
Oh, that is going to be brutal to your mental. Dark Adept trying to be the one-man army of RE Accelerate, but there is no momentum against this team as they push for the post once again, but do not find the goal. It's not going to matter, though, when you're 3-0 up, 1 minute left on the clock, and Cornflakes, that is a tongue twister, I gotta say. Cornflakes looking to find another. Bruv's going to deny it. And once again, these just keep hitting the post. If you're in RE Accelerate's position, this best of 5 match is feeling like an uphill battle with the counter from Bruv.
Well, there we go. Omega Force getting their 4th goal. And Kasia have tied it up with Tswana. 1-1 currently, 2 minutes remaining in the other game on the B stream. If you want to follow it, it is RhinoCast11 on Twitch. But right now, 40 seconds left to go. Omega Force are looking like they are in the driving seat for this series so far. They are going to pick up this game number 2 unless something miraculous happens. But Accelerate have been looking like they've been throwing hammer and tongue. It just hasn't been able to convert on the scoreboard. But right now, Dark Adept passes it down. Can he get the shot in? And Vian van Rooyen gets a somewhat of a comments back for Accelerate.
So what, they've got 5 seconds to get per goal to actually take the lead in this match. I mean, it's looking very unlikely. That being said, Ari Accelerate, now they have the momentum. Are they able to get those turbos going? No, they're not, because Cornflake snipes the goal again.
Oh my word, the pain for Accelerate right now is a kickoff goal. Narrowly makes its way past Vian van Rooyen, who made a valiant attempt to stop that. But as it stands, 15 seconds left to go. Omega Force up 5-1. It is now 3-1 to Tswana in game number 2. So it looks like it is going to be a tied series on that side. While in this game right here, right now, we've got Omega Force looking to dominate. Oh, Cornflakes, what a shot. It looks like they're going for the Brazil here. They're going straight for the throats. The backboard shot there. Jakes the Snake couldn't get there, but Cornflakes can, making no mistake. And Omega Force is going to take this game number 2 and put themselves firmly in the driving spot of this best of 5.
Yeah, that just felt like the round-ending kill cam there for Critical Force. I mean, Jake the Snake, the chat is absolutely loving him right now, and he has been thriving in this game too. 3 more games to go, potentially, if we want to make this a best of 5. Ari Accelerate really need to get their engines running, because it has been looking like a really tough performance for them.
Has been looking tough indeed. Jakes the Snake, of course, getting the MVP of the game, but make no mistake, there were 2 goals apiece for every single player on this Critical Force side. So I would attest that this is a very well-rounded attacking unit. They looked comfortable the entire time, but it is also a possibility of a reverse sweep. I am a romantic. Redirect have shown moments of brilliance throughout the season that I would not be surprised if they managed to pull this one back. But man, oh man, the work that they have to do in game number 3 is massive.
I mean, it's not just game number 3, it's game number 4 and 5. They really have to turn the tables here, because it is just an uphill battle. This is match point for the Omega Force, and they have been smashing it so far this series, leading them on to challenge the Jokers, the kings of the prospect bracket. And right now, Brian taps it up, looking to follow up, but Bruv is here to one-man army this half. Jake the Snake slithering in, but doesn't quite find the ball. Instead, it's going to be Weaver. Now, Weaver hasn't really been having the biggest impact so far this series, but it's nice to see him get the touch. Doesn't quite find any impact with it as of yet. The demo from Dark Adept is really nice. They're going to give them a bit of tempo.
Well, good little spawn there, but Jakes the Snake going to try and get a soft little pass off, pulls in the fake, and now taking the shot across, hits the crossbar. And I've been told Tswana have taken game number 2, so it is a tied series that side. As they head into game number 3, it is going to be incredibly tight. But right here, right now, Redirect, Accelerate have to make it count. They have to score a goal now. They need to get the ascendancy. But with Jake the Snake in the air right now, it's looking a little dangerous. He's going to go for the double. But Dark Adept on the backboard says no.
Yeah, I mean, this, once again, is very methodical from both teams. It's really nice to see them, you know, just trying to size up, download every match. But Ari Accelerate, they need a bit more than that. They need to start getting it in. The goal is not there once again. Dark Adept does have the angle here, actually. But once again, a beautiful save. and it's just rattling shots after shot onto this goal, but Omega Force are staying strong. The formation is not falling. Once again, Bruv is going to push it out.
They needed a first man there to push it aggressively with there, but Vion van Rooyen's going to make the stop, but it puts them on the back foot here as Vion tries to take control, but Cornflakes in the corner does some acrobatics to intimidate his prey, but narrowly misses that and makes a bit of a meal of it as it's returned back into the Megaforce. Oh, Dark Adept taking the shot there. He needs to be more aggressive on that. He's primed for that first man position. And now, lobbed up in the air. First touch gets it, and luckily cleared by Cornflakes.
Yeah, that clear is going to be vital if they do want to get a goal on the board, because the pressure from RE Accelerate has been starting to speed up. That being said, Jake the Snake, he's been absolutely amazing at setting up the team for success. And there it is from Jake the Snake. I think that was actually with a little bit of help from RE Accelerate as well. Let's have a look at the replay here. Dark Adept not being able to secure it. Rooyen wasn't there in time. It's going to be a readjust there from Jake the Snake. I think the chat is very happy to see that right now.
Jake the Snake is winning hearts and minds now as Omega Force take another ascendancy in game number 3. This is match point for them, so if they score and do not get scored upon in this game, it is game over for Redirect Accelerate. So the pressure is now upon them to score a goal, and right now that is what they do with Weaver, who has supposedly been quiet, now making a very loud statement with a very quick challenge there, back of the nets.
And that is exactly what we need to see from RE Accelerate. If they have finally put the jigsaw together, then this team has established their momentum. This is the best we've seen RE Accelerate versus Omega Force in this series so far. That being said, Bruv is looking to push up, and there's the setup, but it hits the top of the board. That's not good, but Jake's the Snake still is setting up control on the pitch. The rest of RE Accelerate is kind of discombobulated right now, but Dark Adept's going to be pushing it around the corner. Cornflakes setting it up on the backboard. Sky high is the ball. Jake the Snake has high hopes for this series. Needs to make that final goal to set them up against the Jokers once again. All going into the corner. Weaver missing again. That's going to be crucial because Cornflakes has the angle, but it's denied by Dark Adept. A lovely save. And what's Dark Adept going to do with this? Well, not much, because he is a one-man army against 3. And Cornflakes, oh, his teammate saved it.
What a save. Very fortuitous for Redirect Accelerate here, as they have been bought out of jail by Omega Force themselves, where it possibly could have ended. 40 seconds left on the clock. Shots are coming across. Can he get the double? Didn't need to. Jake's the Snake for the brace. Puts Critical Force in pole position on match point. And with 30 seconds left to go, Redirect Accelerate will need a miracle.
Yeah, what I've got to say about that is I nearly thought there was going to be another save from an Omega Force member, but here we see Bruv. I think is just looking to do the victory lap here. That might just seal the deal for Omega Force. A lovely 3-0 series is in the making with 31 seconds left on the clock. RE Accelerate. The engines, they've not warmed up yet. There's still so much to go as Rooyen is making a desperate push, but instantly gets countered by the side of Omega Force. They're looking to smash it in once again, but do not find it. Jake's the Snake, a key member. Wait, this is an opportunity, but Cornflakes is able to deny it. Weaver does not find it in the air again. There is nothing to weave here, as Omega Force have just broken the whole formation of RE Accelerate with 2 seconds left on the clock. Omega Force will be your team for the semi-finals to face the Jokers.
Well played, Critical Force. And I know Bruv's going to be happy with that result, but Jake's the Snake coming out again with the MVP. So they've managed to do it in 3. A nice clean sweep to start the day. Not the result redirect we're looking for, but very good efforts all round. It has been a fantastic game. It has been a fantastic start, and we're going to have a look quickly at some of the highlights from this game so far. It has been a little bit one-sided, but you will see that Bruv featuring early, and a lot of Jake's the Snake actually.
Yeah, I mean, Jake's the Snake was by far the MVP of this series. Like, I don't think there was anything Critical Force could have done there without him. His setup was amazing. His individual plays, absolutely flawless. I mean, if we're looking for promise in this prospect bracket, it is going to be Jake's. And I think he's definitely going to be one of the key members that we're going to be looking at when they face the Jokers in the semi-finals. Because the Jokers themselves have a really stacked roster, as we all know.
I think, and this might... chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Jake's the Snake started off the season with Redirect and found himself on Critical Force. So that could have been the difference maker, and I'm sure Jake's the Snake right now, as he's been scoring some absolute crackers, is very happy to see himself straight through into the playoffs now. And wow, what a game.
Yeah, what a game indeed. And to think this is a 3-0 sweep from, once again, 2 teams that were only 2 wins apart. I mean, it just goes to show how much that tiny little difference does in, dictating who is the stronger team. And as we see here, Series MVP, what a surprise from Jake's the Snake. With 1,308 points, what a stacked member of the roster.
What a showing indeed. 4 goals, 3 assists, 3 saves, 2 demos. That's a solid all-round performance by Jake. So congratulations to him. First game of the evening, and he is our series MVP. And as we have a look at the post-series stats here, it is a clean sweep. 11 goals to 3, 33 shots to 15, and that field possession 60% to 40 tells everything you need to know. That was a dominant performance by Omega Force.
But will it be a dominant performance against Jokers? That's what I'm really curious about. We've seen Jokers in previous weeks, and they have... Oh, as we bring back...
Yeah, we are.
Hello.
Yeah, we are.
What do you think of the game?
Hello, gentlemen. So I was keeping tabs on this series and on the other series that Rhino's running, like trying to keep tabs on everything, checking on chat, and all I heard was Jake's the Snake this, Jake's the Snake that, so definitely coming up clutch for his team.
He really, really did. He came out of nowhere and had a bit of a slow start, but he really clutched it up towards the tail end of that series. And turns out it was enough to get him series MVP, but it was a fantastic all-round showing from Critical Force.
So there we go. We have one series done and dusted. And it was not as... Well, I think we were hoping for a much closer series. Over on the other side, it is Cassia who are leading 2-1. But in Game 4, Tswana are up 2-0. So a much closer affair there. And by all indications, look, there's a lot of time there. 3.5 minutes left. So... Cassia may still pull it out of the fire there, but we may well be heading to a Game 5 there. And so that means that Critical Force, Omega Force, are going to be on our stream next. They are going to be playing in the semi-final against the Jokers.
It looks like Jokers have got a bit of a game on their hands, because Dynasty Jokers have had a fantastic season so far, and I see a couple of the Dynasty Jokers guys in chat. They've already been sizing up their opponents, so we're in for a whale of a time this evening, if that's anything to go by.
Well, speaking of a whale of a time, Tswana are now 3-0 over Cassia in game 4. So it feels like on that side a game 5 is pretty much inevitable. But let's talk a little bit more about the series that's just finished, because we have a little interview that's going to be happening in a moment. We're going to be talking to Bruv as soon as he's here and cameras are all up and ready. But Skilton, let me ask you, so series MVP Jake the Snake, does that check out with your observation of what went down?
Absolutely. I mean, Jake's the Snake, by far the MVP. He came in swinging for Omega Force, because this guy was, it just felt like every contest there was on the pitch, there was nothing RE Accelerate could do. I mean, every time Weaver especially was trying to duel against Jake the Snake, he just always had the right angle. In fact, most of the time he was able to secure a goal with it. It's just such an impressive performance. And if Jake the Snake is still fired up for this game against the Jokers, yeah, it is going to be a game on their hands.
All right, well, let's get a little bit more of the inside scoop. We're going to be talking to the general manager and from Omega Force, Bruv, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
So you must be feeling pretty cocky right now?
Cocky's not the right word to use. Just happy, and we just had so much fun, and that was just a blast. Sure, we're not overlooking anyone else, but big ups to Accelerate. That was a good game, and I'm proud of my boys. They pulled it through.
And then a bit more of a broader picture. Your first season with RSC. Both as a general manager, managing the franchise, and then also as a player. This is a pretty good result. Semi-finals. I mean, obviously you want to win. You want to go all the way to the grand finals, but it's got to feel like a pretty good season for you already.
Yeah, I'm proud of the boys. Hey, we finished third, and yeah, we've got a long road ahead, but we're so excited. And to mark my words, we're gonna win this whole thing. We're gonna make it look easy.
Well, you're coming up against the Jokers, who are undefeated this season. So, I mean, and look, it's always, we see it so often, teams that do very well through league play, they dominate, but you come to the playoffs, it's a little bit nervy. It's a big occasion, but coming up against the undefeated Jokers, you're feeling pretty confident?
I am. Look, we know what to expect. We know what they have, and yeah, we've had a lot of work with some of the good master players. Shout out to Lackstar, shout out to Ford Hilux, Papito as a rival player. These are just a few names that I'm throwing out there. That's just curated us to be ready for this moment, and yeah, we know who to look out for, what to do, and we've got a game plan. So I'm excited.
All right. And then a bit more, a broad question again is, how have you felt? I mean, you've had a good result, but the whole experience of bringing a franchise into RSC, what has been? I mean, what's your big takeaway from having been involved in RSC this season?
Your biggest takeaway is my pure excitement for what's to come in SSA for Rocket League. That's one thing that I saw the most. Obviously, being a GM and having a franchise, you see it more firsthand than as a player. But yeah, that's really my biggest takeaway, is that the future looks so bright, and we've got a really good thing going here, and I'm very excited for that. And as a GM, it's been such a fun ride, meeting all the players, and they've been amazing. The scene is just short. What can you say? That's the biggest take.
Well, while you've been chatting, there's absolute chaos in the other game. Cassia DSQ were up 2-1 going into game 4. The game has just ended 7-0 to Tswana. So,
Alex.
I mean, they've been a bit of a resurgent team, bruv, this season. Because they had a rough start, and it just looked like they weren't going to feature. But here they are, putting in the performances.
Look, Alex is my teammate 2 seasons in a row. We made it to two finals in a row, and we lost both. So if the roads align and we're both in the final together, someone's second has to go, someone's gonna win it. So I'm hoping that we both can make it to the final, and yeah, that'll be crazy.
Well, I'll tell you this now: it'll be a massive upset if you do, and I don't doubt you can do it. But I think you'll acknowledge that it's quite an uphill battle for you to overcome. Firstly, the undefeated, and then for Tswana to come from where they have come from and overtake the second place team. So that would be quite something. And if anyone's put any cash on that as a grand final, you're in for a good payout.
100%. To the chat, stay tuned. It's gonna be fireworks, and I'm so excited.
All right, well, Bruv, excellent performance. It's a performance that sends you into the semi-finals with a lot of confidence. That's a proper win, a sweep all the way. Congratulations to you, Jakes the Snake, and the rest of your team. And we will see you in the semis, and maybe we redo this interview at the end of the night. We'll see how it all plays out.
Awesome. So excited. Let's go, boys. Come on. Let's go, Critical Force. Woo!
Good man, Bruv. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, there's a man who looks like he's having a whale of a time. And as well they should. What a way to get themselves into the semi-finals. Critical Force's first season as a franchise in the RSC, and they have represented themselves fantastically. And I think now I'm going to have while we wait for the other game to go, and it's been 30 seconds in game 5 on the other side. UnitOx Tswana are 1-0 up after 30 seconds. So we may be in for a little bit of an upset. I think it's safe to say it would be an upset if DSQ lose to Tswana. And so far it looks like that's what's going to happen, but plenty time left. And let's say hazza, who we got in chat. I haven't spoken to anybody in chat tonight. Dandon Reaper, first time chatter. I'm not sure who he's supporting, but hello to you. I hope it's not the last time. Chatter, good to have you. A great place. How's it there, mate? Escapade is here. X85258. Okay, complicated names, but big supporter of Bruv by the clear of it. The Ginger Muzz is here. So Muzz, you're in chat, but you're not casting, which is like, why? You can message me and let me know about that. And then, of course, Pepito is here, big with Critical Force. And so there we go. So our play-ins, the first play-ins on this stream are now done. Critical Force go through. Over on the other side, it is still 1-0 to Tswana, now with 3 minutes to go. 2 minutes are done. And now we can start to look ahead at maybe the semi-final that's going to be coming up. A confident Critical Force, but an undefeated prospect team, the Jokers. And they have had not a perfect season because they have had a couple of draws, but they have not been beaten throughout league play. So they will far and away be the favorites for tonight. But this is playoffs, and as we've said all season long during league play, is that you can dominate and it will certainly not be the first time that a team who is undefeated coming into playoffs do not go forward beyond the semi-finals, or certainly don't go on to win the grand finals. It all comes down to who's feeling it on the night, who's on top of things. And of course I'm with Dynasty, so I'm certainly hoping that they are going to take it. I have full confidence they can take it. Ender was in chat a little earlier, basically saying this is all academic. We're just going through the motions to finally crown the Jokers as the season's champions, but they do have work ahead of them. And let's not forget our other semi-final. In fact, maybe, I don't know if production can chuck up the graphics so we can see what's on the cards tonight, where we are, and what's to come. And in the meantime, Tswana are now 2-0 up against DSQ with 1 minute and 40 left. And there we have it. The Cubs, another really, really good team. They are going to be playing, by the look of it, as it stands now, they're going to be beating, I beg your pardon, they're going to be playing Tswana, unless Cassia can turn things around in the last minute and 20 seconds. And I think it's safe to say that it is going to be an upset if either the Cubs or the Jokers lose. But it is certainly possible. And almost when you get to playoff night, you're always expecting something of an upset. All right, so I think we can look forward to our semifinals. We've got a minute to go. Looking over on the other stream, Tswana are still 2-0 up, 50 seconds to go. They're on the attack, so they don't look like a team that's going to be giving up this lead and putting them into the semifinals. No, that's not going to happen. I thought there might have been a goal there, but it is not to happen. Hecky, there is a link. We're gonna put it in chat right now for the B stream. It's on Rhino's stream. You can click there and make sure you go and follow Rhino, who's been a goated supporter of SSA RSC this season with his involvement here. So make sure you hit that follow. Get a lot of people to go and follow him. So I think I'd like to start bringing in casters to talk about the series that is coming up, because the semi-final is going to be the Cubs. The game is ended. DSQ Cassia are out, which means that UnitOx Tswana, after a very shaky start to the season, have made it to the semi-finals. So our first semi-final is going to be the Jokers versus Tswana. And I beg your pardon, it's Critical Force versus the Jokers, and then it is Tswana are going to be up against the Cubs. And that semi-final is going to be on Rhino's stream, so you can follow it there. Make sure you have both streams up at the same time so you can keep tabs on both. And now we welcome in Ultrazim to come and bring us the semi-final along the Bromeo. Good to see you, Ultrazim.
Oh, so happy to be back, man. It seems to be these big stretches in this RSC between where I get to be here, and yet for the final week, I got to make it. So I'm so excited, man. It's been a good night so far already.
The Jokers, undefeated for the season, Bromeo, playing Critical Force. But I feel like the two teams coming out of the play-ins are teams on the rise, is where they've kind of saved their best for the back end of the season. And the undefeated Jokers, I think, are not going to have the cakewalk they might have been expecting and or hoping for.
Well, you know what they say about immovable objects and critical forces. It has been Dynasty's season so far. They haven't lost a game. They're doing incredibly well. But that must be said that so are Dynasty. So it is looking like one of those games where you don't know the outcome. There have been games throughout the season where the outcome was like, yeah, we know what's going to happen. We don't hear tonight.
Ultrazim, clearly Jokers are the favorites. They should be the favorites. Undefeated, they've steamrolled all before them. But Critical Force coming up, is it a foregone conclusion for you?
I never like to put a team down like that and say there's no chance, but we look at that semifinals, that was a close semifinals, right? You're looking at the two teams kind of like going against Cassia, who's been fifth on the log up until now, who's had like a bit of a scattered history behind them, and you're really struggling to beat them. And now you're going against really the cream of the crop. I mean, Jokers have been fantastic. Since the first game that I saw these guys, I was like, they are doing everything right. There doesn't really seem to be a big weakness. They've got the synergy, they've got the mechanical skills. So I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but really, there's going to be a big ask for them. I never say it's not possible, but damn, Jokers is looking like a tough team to beat.
It is a big difference, though. We're coming out of a season full of 4 series games where there can be a draw. It's, you know, now you're into a best of 7, which is the marathon of competitive series. And I don't know how much of a factor that is, or if it's something, Bromeo, that we're just talking about because we're filling time.
Well, the thing about this is that we can be filling time and speaking truths at the very same time. And I think that's, you know, very important to note, is that Dynasty have every right to win this game because they haven't proved to anybody that they're capable of losing so far. But like I mentioned a little bit earlier, this is no longer a 4-game series. There has to be a winner. There is no draw. So whoever the best team is on the night is the one who takes it through. So arguments could be made how Dynasty is going to take this one, but Critical Force, they've got just as good a chance in my books.
I can chime in there as well if you're interested. The fact is, Jokers have only lost a maximum of 2 games in a 4-game series. I think that's a very big part of this. When we look at a 7-game series, now you're getting, your oppositions aren't even getting close to being able to beat you. They're going to be able to take a maximum of 2 games, which still leaves you with plenty of time and buffering to be able to win out the series. And I mean, how often have we seen it where a team that looks like they're doing a big resurgence, a comeback, they get shut down at game number 6, not even game number 7. Game number 6 is always that field of dreams that gets shattered and pulled out from underneath you. So when it comes to like, yeah, okay, 2 teams have managed to draw with them, it's just a case of now you got to more than draw. You got to still get another 2 games. You got to double the best result against the Jokers.
Gents, it's now time to bring us the game, and I see Ultrazim. You've got a big fan of Minoto in chat. He's thrilled to see you in the casting booth. But Bromeo, Ultrazim, bring us now a banger of a semi-final.
Oh man, I cannot wait for the semis to begin. It is Dynasty Jokers versus UnitOx Swana. We've spent so much time building up Critical Force. I'm just going to need producers to confirm for me that this is in fact the game that we are going to play. But either which way, we're in for a good time.
We are going with Swana, apparently. There's been a little bit of complication with the play-ins and everything like that. But, Bromeo, I don't know if that makes a big difference to the argument. I mean, Swana has had a somewhat pretty much the same sort of season as Critical Force that we've seen throughout. I mean, Omega Force was sitting there at 3 wins, 4 losses, and 3 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses, whereas Swan is sitting at 3-3-3. So they've got 1 more loss against them, but those 3 wins are just like we managed to just get ahead, but it's still that academics of 4th versus 5th, 3rd versus 4th kind of thing. And Jokers is really the people to be watching right now. And I mean, when we look at Clerks, Dogman, and Frequency, they've just been fantastic. Every one of them has kind of fulfilled their role right now. And so I don't think who they match up against is going to make a big difference.
Clerks being the key man on that roster. He has been so massive this season. He's even had to have his ability reviewed because he has had such a breakout season. So definitely the prospect to watch for now, but certainly a rival or elite for future. So he very well could be the difference maker against this UnitOx side. And in the lead up to this has all been about classic misdirection, making you think it was Critical Force they were facing. But no, UnitOx Swana, the game of the night for the semis to begin. And UnitOx have had a resurgence. They started the season off very poorly. And with Alex DeFatak at the helm, he has taken the season by the scruff of the neck and forced them through into playoffs and now play-ins.
And I like to see that. You know, that's to me the story of what RSC is. It doesn't matter your first couple of weeks. You're a random people thrown together, and you've got to learn how to develop as a squad. And whoever, I said it, I think I cast the first or second week of RSC this year, and I said, now is just the taste, but it's going to be who's there at week number 7, 8, 9, especially, who comes in and goes, we are now the squad. And we talk about, like, you were talking about Clerks there and his future prospects now, or future elite status perhaps. That's what I like to see at the end of a season. How have you developed with a good squad around you, and what does the future look like? Now is the time to prove that these guys have said, you know what, the scoreboard doesn't matter. We made it to the final week. Now is our time to show that anyone can make the Jokers bleed.
And if it is anybody to make the Jokers bleed, Matthew, who goes by the in-game Future Life, no, Wheatbix, and Tosh, who's going by Future Life. They are the serial killers. They are the team on the rise. And if anybody can beat them tonight, it is a rampant UnitOx Swana outfit. So I can hear the engines are getting ready for this game, and I could not be more excited. It is a David versus Goliath setup. It is Alex DeFatak's team to tackle the big boys who haven't lost yet. Will they lose? We don't know, but we're about to find out.
You only have to lose once as we jump into this game, and the power of a balanced breakfast can do so much right now, and Alex has got all the carbohydrates he needs to stall them through this entire play. And what I really like to see going into this was the fact that Swana, they got hammered down and they were kind of constantly chasing that previous series that we saw in the B stream, and yet game number 4, they won 7-0. That is a distinctive statement of intent, and I would love to see them come in with that little bit of gumption going in there, but they're going to take an early hammering on the other side. Jokers are looking to show why they're sitting top of the table. Really nice little chip onto the backboard. Great car control comes through, and the tap down gives Jokers goal number 1.
Well, they make it look so simple, don't they, Jokers? Only 20 seconds on the board and they've scored their first goal. They're going to want to make a statement early here. They are the defending champions, but it also must be said, this is their first game of the evening. Swana have had the benefit of having an extra series in them to get warm, and as it's there, Alex DeFatak narrowly not getting that shot in for a possible counter, but they definitely showing intent right now as Alex DeFatak is putting this in the corner and he wants to take on the entire team, it seems. But this is what I love to see. It is a very much David and Goliath. There's high frequency. He's going to take it up against the backboard. Can he get the double? No, he can't. And Swana get out of jail.
Bit of a physicality coming out from Wheatbix, who lets the ball roll up onto his car and manages to come away with it, nearly finding Future Life in the center. Immediate turnover that gives Jokers another look at the net. Decent back pass, gets the bump afterwards, and Eclipse up for the task. Receives that pass on a plate there, and Jokers once more just finding the synergy and the creativity to be able to get that back of the net. Swana once more have to find an answer.
Looks like they do. And just in case you don't know, Eclipse is Clerks, and obviously Wheatbix, Matthew, and Future Life is Tosh. And for the uninitiated, Jokers are in red, Swana is in blue, and currently Jokers 2-0 up, are very much in the power seat here, as Alex DeFatak seeking to get a clear, but ends up faking out, pass across. And Swana are finding themselves in a bit of a pickle here as the pass down comes across, but saved by Alex.
Now's the opportunity. They've got a bit of a breakaway. Eclipse buying time, takes it up onto their own backboard, gets demolished for the troubles. It's going to come down, but Swana a little bit slow into the attack afterwards, and Dogman making some yards down the field as Swana once more shoved into their own corner. They've got still possession of it and looking for a soft little bounce. It's going to actually go in. Alex DeFatak manages to open up the goal.
Well, he does. It is Alex the Fatak, the one who demoed off the backboard offensively. I haven't seen an offensive backboard demo in a very, very long time. And Alex the Fatak is one who does things for the first time, then every time. So now Tswana picked up a goal. They've narrowed the deficit to 1. They're in a very good position here as they're starting to lay on the pressure. And this is the pattern that Tswana has been setting up. They start applying the pressure. It's a slow burn. They catch you by surprise, like slowly heating water. But like, as we said, that a little bit of a pickle for Tswana, but currently they're looking good. They're not looking to concede at this current time. But as I say that, a shot coming across, and luckily they managed to get that one out.
It's certainly been Jokers on the vast majority of the offense. Tswana, they go up to the midfield, they lose possession, and Jokers pounce on it immediately afterwards, as they are doing right now. But I think the big part is Tswana has proven that their opponents can bleed. They've shown that they can get the goals up now. They've stabilized a little bit in defense, and now they just need to get some consistency going with these players. They've given it away. Everyone's pushed up. It's a big chip down to the other side. No save forthcoming, and Eclipse going to pick up the hat trick and set the third one in the back of the net through a bit of a miscommunication in play.
Well, that's all it took was a lob over the defense. They caught UnitOx without a player at back post, which at prospect is sinful, but make no mistake, Tswana will try to avoid that going forward, as Jokers now are going to start applying even more pressure. They're not content with a 3-1 lead. They'll want to end this one early as the pass comes across, but very good communication there by Tswana to make sure that there were no double commits on the goal line, because truly that's the killer at this level.
Yep. No one's diving recklessly into the corners when they don't need to. They're always trying to shut down the passes as they come across. This pass, though, enabled by Alex, manages to get a second touch and, in fact, hands it off to his teammate. Weepex looking for some progress down the field. Eclipse seems to be everywhere, omnipotent and omnipresent, it seems, as he manages to get that intersection. Now gets the pass towards the center. No one diving in from the Joker side, also showing a little bit of patience in their play and great rotations. Gives them another chance, cutting it off at the halfway line, just into the last minute now. And once more, Jokers have been really difficult to assail out of their own half.
They really, really have. And as we're hearing right now, Omega are leading 2-0 against Cubs on the B stream. That is Rhino Costs 11 on Twitch if you want to follow it. But right now, about 30 seconds left in this goal. Jokers have got this one in the bag by the looks of it, but a lot can happen in those times as Future Life, taking possession, passes it down to Alex the Fatak, but easily cleared there by Eclipse. And Jokers are going to take this first game by the looks of it, but it is looking very awkward for them at the moment.
Nice to see them on the other side of the field, but a scattered, straggly defense to try and reinforce this back line. Manages to get it off the top. Jokers have been great at setting one person in that midfield, always looking for the inopportune clear, but at the end of the day, Tswana have managed to at least stem the bleeding. Jokers picking up the 3. 1 in answer does give us our final score for game number 1. So certainly the result that we were expecting, but despite chat and their spams in there, it is UnitOx being boxed in.
Well, it looks like that indeed. Dynasty Jokers taking game number 1, 3-1, with the man of the hour himself, Clerks Eclipse, in getting the game 1 MVP. And in the other game, it looks like Omega is taking it away. They are currently 5-0 up on XP Cubs, which is a very good result. Remember that XP qualified for the playoffs straight away. They finished second. So Critical Force definitely demonstrating that they have come to take some silverware tonight. But the game at hand, we have seen a very dominant Dynasty this whole season, but this is a very fired up Tswana side.
Yeah. Tswana, I think, might be using that fire a little bit to their own detriment right now. I'm getting a little bit burnt there because it really has been the lack of consistency that has cost them right now. They go up on the walls, they go for these nice clears, but so far the Jokers has been doing a fantastic job in their rotations, so there's always another person that they have to beat. There's the ball kind of drops in the midfield, and we saw it especially in that second or the third goal, the final goal that Joker's managed to get in there. There seems to be this anxiety right now where Tswana wants to go forward. You can see it. They've been pushed back, and they sense this little bit of a break in the tempo, and then they go too much into it. And they need to be very careful. If you're going to throw everything at it, you need to have all the confidence in the world that it's going to work out, or you're going to be put under immediate pressure as the Jokers once more look to take an early lead. Somehow Tswana manages to stay alive from it, but finding themselves in a familiar position to start off game number 2.
Well, as Altruism says, temper the tempo, and that's what they might need to do here, as some early pressure on the Joker's line means that High Frequency are going to take it up across the wall and get a decent clear out of it, and that he does. Eclipse now in possession, puts it off to lose, and there we go. High Frequency following up from the clear in his own corner, and that quick little counterplay, making sure that Tswana not being able to reset in time, and that is another Joker's first score.
Yeah, I was just complimenting Tswana on not throwing people recklessly into the corner, and then they go put 2 there. That's not a danger spot, guys. It is one of the things that is actually very difficult to break out of your own mindset. You don't need to dive in there. You'd much rather have someone waiting for the pass to come out there, and Tswana, they get a nice little passing play going there. A little bit of aggression to follow off there. A sneaky bit of muscle from Wheatbix comes through. Actually pops it out as well. It's going to be a chance for Future Life to turn around. Doesn't manage. That's actually a Frencher. Is that a sub that I see from Alex? I believe so. And only 2 people on the Joker side? This is an interesting lobby if there's something to be said about it.
Interesting indeed.
There we go. We got with all 3 back at least. So Jokers have got their full squad.
It does indeed, and I'm just trying to have a look here because I'm Alex DeFatek was playing, or was he not?
He was in the first game, definitely.
Yeah, but not in the second game, because I was looking around, I was very confused. And it's very interesting that they pull their captain off for the first game. I appreciate that they're giving everybody the run, but shots coming straight here from Dynasty Jokers, and what a shot by Eclipse. And that has been demonstrative of their entire season so far. Absolute mad dunks from Clerks from every single side of this field.
Yep, I mean, I saw in the chat right now, I wonder how strong Jokers would be without Clerks. That's the point. You are here with your 3 players, and Clerks has been an indomitable part of this Joker's success. And when you can read doubles like that from your own side and then make passes towards the center like this, what a team that's come together. I mean, the little musty to read it into a nice little trap on the backboard. Desperate dives coming out from Tswana, but the Jokers living up to their name, playing with their food, and pick up the 3rd goal of the match.
Well, there we go. Dynasty Jokers now starting to gain a little bit more confidence that their first position affords them, and immediately laying one on the backboard. Pressure here, but Wheatbix with the clear. He's got some possession. There's some pressure on the goal line. Eclipse is bumped, and unfortunately for UnitOx, they weren't able to convert that as Dogman made the clear.
Right now, the clear coming all the way down to the other side of the field. Once more, Tswana forced into a defensive position. So, of course, it's Clerks starting. He's always up for that first challenge. He's such a good spearhead for the side. And seeing in the, thanks VuDu for the highlight there. Ooh, nice shot coming out there. Forced out 2 players on the Joker side to make a defensive effort. But VuDu shouting out that Clerks was the best person in the draft. And, I mean, that first pick gets you so much. We've seen it time after time in all of the tiers. And what an impact it can make now is another opportunity for Joker skating across that goal line. Tswana come away the victors with it. Nice pinch, sends it awkwardly towards the red nets. They have to take 2 players up there. Second shot needs to be good, and it's just wide and soft. Means that they've got to make it this time. It's just high. Oh, Tswana looking for it one more time. Meets the woodwork and denies the goal. Come on, Future Life. No, the jump is too slow.
Oh, and this is a little bit of a dangerous one here by Frencher on the line. And High Frequency applying solid midfield pressure the entire game. He's always been there on the midway line to make sure that the ball returns post-haste into the UnitOx lines as Dogman applies some decent pressure here as Tswana have a really tough time getting it to the goal line. You feel like that the opportunity that they just had was the best of the game as Eclipse tries to get the touch off there, but herded safely away to the corner.
You know, the weird thing is, I feel like Tswana has had more opportunities down the other side. Jokers have not been dictating the pace of the play. There's been some big jumps coming out here. Clerks dives for that when it wasn't his ball. Leaves for the overlap there. Nice chip back towards the corner. It's going to be up to Wheatbix to try and get it out there. Goes in above Future Life, which leaves them deficit of a man now. And Future Life, sorry, that was Frencher. Future Life being the third man to just give his life for the cause. Dogman looking to carry on the rampage.
Oh.
The serial killers getting a taste of their own medicine right now as they fall, but they keep it out. And High Frequency at least gets it far enough away from Future Life to be able to push it towards his own corner. Now Wheatbix wants to get a decent pass, a decent chip. The bounce eludes him though. The ball goes nowhere as we head to the final 10 seconds.
Well, 10 seconds to go, but the result is foregone at this point. Dynasty up 3-0 to Tswana, and they have done a very good job of asserting themselves in this game number 2, and they're going to take themselves into match. Oh no, it's not match point, it's best of 7 as Wheatbix claims one back on the buzzer. And you know, just in case there was a little bit of confusion, the play-ins, otherwise known as semi-finals, are a best of 7. So this is game number 2. We, at bare minimum, will see another 2 games. But right here, right now, Dynasty are up 2-0.
And right now it is seeming like 2 games is all it's going to take if this sort of history continues to repeat itself. 3-1 the scoreline in both of our games so far. Once more, it's Clerks taking that MVP crown across the map. Wheatbix trying valiantly on the other side, scoring that late goal and taking the majority of the shots there. But, I mean, shots deficit between the 2 teams. Only a single one to the benefit here of Dynasty. And, I mean, that kind of alludes to what I was saying. But, I mean, when you're getting 3 goals and all of them coming from assists, and UnitOx, they scraped by a couple of hairs on a couple of those saves. I mean, they were denied by fragments of woodwork on their attempts as well. But that sort of difference, that those few millimeters can really make a difference. That, like Greybeard loves to say, great events turn on small hinges.
Truly so. And talking about small differences, it is currently Omega in the lead against Cubs 2-1 in game number 2 with about a minute left on the clock. We'll keep you updated as these scores come rolling in, but it is a close affair on both sides. UnitOx not getting the result in game number 2 that they wanted, but they are not bereft of any pressure that they've been applying so far. So in game number 3, Tswana needs to be a little bit more clinical in their finishes as Dogman doing a little bit of aerial acrobatics. A 3-season prospect veteran here in Dogman, as he's had an incredible season so far with Dynasty and playing such a great support role to Eclipse. I think Dogman is possibly leading the league in assist. Chat, as always, tell me if I'm wrong. I love to hear it. But they have got a very well-structured side, so it is a little bit of structure versus chaos and disorder right here, right now, and currently the order is taking it.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love a little bit of chaos in my games, but certainly right now, Jokers with the composure sets up the shot. Top right-hand side, High Frequency, going to be able to claim it. Once more, Jokers in the lead there. Was a decent chip out there, but the desperate dive afterwards with no one else at home. Just a little bit of time extra needed to be bought for that third man to rotate around, and Jokers managing to come up with that 1 goal. And BeerMasjien, I just looked at a very interesting stat. In week number 3 is when these 2 teams, Dogman wasting no time, getting a 2nd goal on the board. So we'll get back to that interesting fact right now. But I mean, once more, the pass from Clerks was just so good. High Frequency running the interception to make it more awkward, and Dogman just wasting no time to come through afterwards.
Joker's just doing exactly what they need to do. They are making no mistake. They put it up against the back and wait for the bounce. They wait for the mistake as Eclipse here pushes the pass across. And he almost got a Doomsy in there. Can you call that a Doomsy, or is that just an aerial here as Wheatbix is possibly going to score on the counter? Hits the post, though.
Open goals are the hardest ones, and especially on a dribble, you just get like a millimeter off center in your car, and you just can't get that control back. An unfortunate moment there for Tswana, where they were looking to try and rally themselves, get a little bit of momentum, and a nice dunk, though. Maybe going to be gifted. Wheatbix there manages to claim such a nice goal on the other side, and immediately the fears, that heartbreak of the previous goal going wide, assuaged now as Tswana pick up their return goal.
Well, what a dunk that was by Wheatbix. He'll be very happy with that, keeping the game in touch with a 1-goal deficit. Right now, anything can change that now as Eclipse, the aerial king, passes it down to Dogman, but very well pressured here as Jokers are finding themselves in the corner as Eclipse, again, once more, tried to take it off the wall, couldn't, but Dogman, ever there in support, applies the pressure, the shot coming off, but not the touch he needed. And Tswana on the counter here, Future Life a little bit hesitant and possibly missing a chance there. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from this UnitOx side. Very deep here from Future Life, faking the jump. Knew he was going to lose that one out to Eclipse. Choosing to keep it on the ground. They're going to fight their battles here in the dirt, it seems. Now Future Life making that challenge early on high frequency, and these are such high intensity challenges at the moment.
Yep, and a nice fake actually gives Alex, who's back on the field, that chip over the top there. So we see the captain returning to the fray. And certainly, like you say, Tswana seem to be mirroring their season strategy. Oh, actually, oh no, it's just wide once more. But the strategy of their season has been leave it late and certainly get better as time goes on. And they have been doing that. These open goal misses aside, they've been showing a huge amount more pressure, and it's been nice to see. They've gone a minute now without a goal to either side. But certainly Jokers short on terms of shots in this game.
Oh, the triple commit. This is their intent that they're showing right now. Wheatbix claiming the corner boost and making sure that Eclipse doesn't start with a full tank of boost there. Alex now putting into the corner, going to try for another touch. And stalled by the Dogman in the corner as Wheatbix turns around to face. But right now, Eclipse going to start with a counter here. He's going to push the shot across. But Future Life is there to make the save. Now, we're not going to talk about that missed open net because those are the hardest shots to make. As Future Life pins one back, allowing Jokers to reset a little bit. But almost Dogman is showing that he's not above applying some backboard pressure of his own.
Certainly not, and right now Jokers are on a bit of a breakaway for high frequency, leading the charge in a rare occurrence right now. Wheatbix wants to come off the wall but doesn't get it. Thankfully has Alex underneath them to be able to try and hand off towards it. Possession turned over as Jokers once more come forward and looking for this. And this actually is a good time as we head into the final minute, as actually Dogman takes out the last defender. Wheatbix on a good collection though. This is the interesting stat. In week number 3 was when these two played in normal relegation. And at that stage, the scoreline 3-1 to the Jokers. So that seems to be the theme of the night. And that tells me two things. Right now, Jokers the consistently better team, but Tswana can take games off of them. One of the only 8 points that the Jokers gave up throughout the season.
Oh, there we go. What was that, a musty? That Eclipse just pulled off in Prospect? Absolutely wild as Jokers are looking to set up some structure here. They're not too aggressive on attack. They'd rather launch from nothing, it seems, as Eclipse just puts back in another one. They weren't overly aggressive, except in this double commit here, which worked out just fine for them as Future Life was bewildered there by the ping against the backboard. But I was just going to say, Dynasty have been playing such structured offense here that they make sure that their back is covered first. And I think that's why they've conceded so little. Not because Eclipse is scoring all these goals, because yes, he is, but because they are very difficult to score against. And we've seen this, a rampant Tswana side who scored a lot of goals of late, struggling a little bit against this Dynasty side who are just looking so cool under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, their rotations are slow and methodical, and not slow in terms of they take a long time to get back, but they get back early and then have all the time in the world to make the clever play. Weedfix there coming and challenging this time Eclipse only by 9 points, but once more, it is Eclipse getting that MVP, but it really is just the patience, the discipline, the dedicated plays that is coming out from the Jokers that have managed to score them once more the 3-1 deficit in the game. And right now, I would like to see that echoed into the series scoreline as UnitOx. I feel like they deserve a game, especially after they were actually very close to 2 full goals there in this one. So I want to see our semifinals at least get 1 down towards Sfaulcon.
Well, it looks like that indeed, but with Eclipse playing the way he has, another game MVP under his belt, they've taken this one 3-1. And speaking of scores, Omega are currently 4-2 up against Cubs. They're currently leading series 2-0, and there's 2 minutes left in game number 3. So Omega is doing pretty much the same job that Dynasty is doing right here, right now. And this is a best of 7. There are 2 more games to come. But, oh no, 1 more game after this, because this is Dynasty's 3rd win on the trot, it seems.
Yeah, right now, Jokers want to just put a paid to any sort of rumors, any sort of doubts in our chats that they have any opposition that they really need to fear. And right now, showing that they really are the titans to beat here, the kings to be dethroned as the usurpers now step up 1 more time. Tswana on their last legs, facing the prospect of that reverse sweep to be able to stay in this competition, or at least be able to start with a single step. And they get a nice pass out there. Teammate was right in the fray to be able to try and challenge that, but too good is the defense of the Jokers, and instead the counter-attack up there rolls it around. Even though there was good yards made by the Tswana players, it was just a big hole as it rolls so awkwardly, and the Weedfix valiant but unsuccessful.
Man, that corner is absolutely ruthless sometimes. That bounce was awful for UnitOx. It landed straight in front of their post, bypassing 2 defenders, and Jokers have been gifted a goal there as High Frequency looking to extend it a bit as they're laying in shots above UnitOx right now, because Tswana is very ground-based. They're not a very aerial team. And they might have identified that as a shot coming in there quickly, but they got it out just as quickly as Eclipse now getting the touch to the undefended side of the field as French. Now going to take a little bit of a mistouch there, giving it to Dogman as he gets the clear. But right now, no side is looking particularly threatening. There have been a lot of run-of-play goals and very few constructed. So I think the downfall of Tswana right now is their defense, because it's what's been saving Jokers.
Yeah, exactly, right? Is these run-of-play goals certainly favor the side of Jokers. They're really good on the counter-attacks. They're really good at the consistency, like I said earlier, of being able to pick it up. Right now, Tswana, they go for touches and they manage to make a connection, but it's not to anyone. It's not with a goal in mind at this stage. And obviously, the goal is the only thing really that they're thinking about. But how to get there is just let down by 1 or 2 little passes, in which case Jokers always spread out so nicely across the field that they're able to intercept that, cut it down there, really stop it from being dangerous. The ball lofts towards their own goal, and they take the time to be able to clear it out and put it into some vacant space and then chase it down afterwards. So I think Joker's going to be content that we're halfway through the game. Even though they only got a single goal, they're confident that that's enough of a buffer for now, and they'll take the next opportunity when it presents itself.
Well, let's hope that they can. It is a very tall order for Tswana right now, as they have to put in an absolute shift if they want to come back from this one. It is match point for Dynasty Jokers. So not only do Tswana need to win this game, they need to win the next 4 if they want to see this one through. So right now, Jokers are feeling pretty comfortable, I'm sure, but the job isn't done yet. There's still 2 minutes left on the clock. They're going to want to extend this lead if they can, and immediate pressure by Jokers signals just that.
Poking, prodding. See, they don't dive themselves in. They don't rush themselves out of the play. They're just holding around, waiting to see. No one goes up unnecessarily. Dogman just waits for the shot to come down and then puts it onto the backboard. Next one goes in, but it's a double commit on the sidewall. Weedpix with a bit of a breakaway, has Alex in tow right now, and trying to get a bit of a bump on the way out. Doesn't manage to get hold of Clerks, who's taking it to the wall, gets a second touch there, has as well got high frequency to help him out there, and the two of them work it towards the center. Dogman does not decide to jump as third man. A very vital play right there. Eclipse once more diving across the goal line, just making sure that there's no danger to be presented, just keeping up that speed that Jokers has had, just a couple k's per hour more than their opponents. And Swana, while they look to always promise something, there's always the potential for something, it just always dies before it really becomes too venomous.
It does appear that way. Tswana, I was watching in the corner of play there. Instead of going for the ball, both players went to play the man, and that just shows the mentality of the game that they play. They play a very aggressive game. They want to dominate themselves on you, but structure is their enemy right now, as Jokers just seem to be composed throughout, and they've been able to lay on some demos of themselves as Alex pins one up against the backboard, but very well touched there by High Frequency to play it back into the corner. And it's been that lack of dangerous balls middle like this one right now, as Dogman's going to put a little bit of a token shot in, and Weedpix is going to be good enough to get to the clear there. But right now, with 30 seconds left on the clock, Tswana need to step it up.
They really do. They've got 22 seconds. They've got themselves as close as they could in any of these games to be able to turn the game around, and all they need is a single goal to secure themselves in overtime. Alex trying to just hold the ball up in the air, but they both dive past it. It's up to Weedpix alone on the goal line there. The pass attempt came through. It ricochets actually down towards the red net. 2 seconds up. Ball in the air, the place where Tswana doesn't want it to be, and in the air on their own side of the field right now. Not only do they have to keep it up, but they've got so much distance to make. The ball goes backwards from French, and that's going to be it. The last game, the closest of the series, as it seemed like the pattern was foretelling the whole way through, but Jokers take this in the most convincing way possible. 3 games to their better in terms of a 3-1 scoreline. The fourth with just a single goal behind it. Eclipse 4 out of 4 MVPs there. A much closer affair. But I mean, at the end of the day, the finals awaits for our Dynasty side.
Oh, Dynasty played such a good game here. They secured the sweep, a confident 4-0, and UnitOx doing very good to bring it back in that last game. It was only a 1-0 game, so it just shows the resolve that UnitOx put through. But unfortunately, resolve doesn't always get you the results, so no dice for UnitOx, as Dynasty have made their way and written a bit more of the script as they make their way into this Prospect Grand Final.
Grand Finals is exactly where this team has set their eyes from the beginning of the season. Their intention has come through there, and the eyes of Clerks just staring into the soul time and time again. Definitely, without a doubt, the most impactful player on the field, whether it's on offense or defense. And really, like I said to Greybeard at the beginning, there didn't seem to be a big weakness for any team to really be looking to exploit right now. There were those free moments, a nice dunk here or there, or a bit of a counter play, but you have to be in control of this ball from the moment you wrenched away from this Joker side if you really want to try and threaten their net in any sort of meaningful way.
Yes, I completely agree. As talismanic as Eclipse was, this is a 3-man game, and he will secure the series MVP, no doubt. He got 5 goals from 16 shots, but he also got 5 assists and 5 saves. Yeah. So an all-round excellent performance from Eclipse, but also, more importantly, very well played by the entire Dynasty team. High Frequency, Dogman, they all had absolute screamers, because make no mistake, that UnitOx Tswana side is dangerous. They hadn't dropped a game in a very long time heading into this final. They earned their way into this playoff. So having a look at these results, it is a sweep for Dynasty. 10 goals to 3, 30 shots to 17, and a very, very impressive field domination stat of 61% to 39. So it seems like the portents were told for this Dynasty side as they make their way into this final.
Yeah, and the boost consumption is often an overlooked stat, but when it's that much of a deficit right there, it just shows that Dynasty was way faster. You mentioned that UnitOX wasn't getting up into the air the same way. It shows with that. When you're draining that much of a boost tank constantly, you really are making big strides around the field, and it means a lot towards this Joker side that they're forcing their opponents to step up to their game. And I mean, Greybeard, you asked me at the beginning of the match if I thought that UnitOX had a shot, and I was hesitant to say yes. I would have liked to have seen them take a game, but not an unexpected result.
Well, firstly, I'm going to say, yeah, I actually asked you if Critical Force would take a game, and I completely sold you guys and chat, everybody down the river. And then there was a technical issue, and I couldn't hear production, so they were trying to say, you're wrong. Anyway, so, but yes, we got there in the end, and man, oh man, we seem to be speed running the playoffs right now. Between the play-ins and the playoffs, up to this point, we had a potential of 22 games to be played. We've only seen 16 of them. And currently, well, we've just had an amazing sweep from the Jokers. And on the other side, Omega Force are 3-0 up and 4-1 up in game 4 with just under halfway to go. So we are quite likely to see our first big upset with Omega Force taking down second place Cubs. So that's pretty exciting over there. But man, what a performance, Bromeo. The Jokers remain undefeated for the season and only one more game to play.
It's an unbelievable stat, and we've seen a couple of undefeated teams this season, and Dynasty is looking like they want to maintain that all the way through. They want to have that perfect season, so make no mistake, this was an incredibly dominant display by the Dynasty side.
And it's look, they are going to be coming up what looks like, and with a minute and a half to go, it's 4-1 to Omega Force. So probably Omega Force, they are looking like a terrifying team. So if there is any team who will finally match the Jokers, it's probably going to be Critical Force. But let's get the view of the Dogman out of the Jokers, the undefeated of the undefeated Jokers. We've got him in for an interview, so let's have a quick chat with him and see what he has to say about it. So, Dogman, we had you here at the very beginning of the season in pre-season, and now we got you here again through the semi-finals into the grand finals. You got to be feeling pretty chuffed with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy, Greybeard. I told you guys in pre-season we're gonna be here, and now we're here, and now we need to finish it.
Was there any point? Look, it looks like you're going to be meeting Omega Force. They're currently 6-1 against the Cubs with a minute to go. So in all likelihood, you're meeting up with the Cubs. They seem, I beg your pardon, with Omega Force. They seem to be on fire today. Any concerns with coming up against them?
They're gonna be a tough team, but if we rotate correctly and we just we just need to control their pace, then we're chilling.
Then, so for you, what has been the key to the success of the Jokers? I mean, you've been undefeated. You've had an incredible run. What has made for this success?
Keeping the vibes up, trying to not fight. That's not always as easy, but and a lot of coaching with Zah has helped us a lot.
And overall, how are you feeling about your? This is the first season you've been in RSC. Sorry, how long have you been playing Rocket League?
Yeah, just over a year now.
So you've been playing for a year. You're now involved in the biggest community scene in Rocket League on the continent. How have you enjoyed being a part of RSC?
It's been fun. I've not really had any issues. Last season was fun. This season is even more fun than last season, and it's just nice meeting new people. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is now confirmed you will be meeting Critical Force's Omega Force in the grand final. So as they say in the classics, Dogman, one more game. Have you got it in you to take it down and finish the season undefeated?
Yeah, I'm sure if we start slow, we'll get them.
All right.
Just
Well,
keep the momentum controlled.
Well, congratulations. A fantastic performance, sweeping your way into the grand finals. I'll let you go and get back to your team and prepare for the big grand finale coming up in just a few minutes. But congratulations. Whatever happens, congratulations on an outstanding season.
Well, thank you, Greybeard.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
And it really does feel like a bit of a speed run. I'm trying to say it's 8:30. I think we were looking at finishing at like 10 o'clock, there or thereabouts, but we have just like that come to the grand final, which is quite remarkable. Two semi-finals weren't close. If you look at the score lines individually, there were moments in both of these series, but overall we had a sweep in semi-final number 1, a sweep in semi-final number 2 to bring us to the grand final. And it is going to be the Dynasty Jokers up against Critical Force Omega Force. This will be, of course, a best of 7, one more series for the RSC Season 3 prospect tier. It all comes down to this. Gentlemen, Skilton. Oh no, it's not Skilton, it's Bromeo. Bromeo's back. Bromeo and Ultrazim are back. It all comes down to this. This has been 9 weeks of league play. We had the draft lottery, we had draft day, we had preseason, 9 weeks of league play, and this is it. 2 teams remain. We are going to have a prospect Season 3 champion in about 30 or 40 minutes, Ultrazim.
I love it. And what's cool to me, see here, Dogman, he's been playing a year. Oh my goodness, man, that's incredible to me. That's what you want to see from the prospect. This is the proving ground. This is where guys get their first taste of real competitive environment. They grow so much over that time, and you can see that there really is that sort of development week by week. You know, you get to see these guys coming in first week, and I mean, I love the confidence that he came out with as well, going, yeah, we got this. Not just now. He's obviously still confident now for good reason, but he was confident in week number 1. I mean, what an incredible showing, and for good reason.
And Bromeo, I asked him what the keys to success have been in their season, and the first words out of his mouth was keeping the vibes up. and I have to disagree with that, Bromeo, because if it was all down to vibes, you and I would be doing far better in this game.
But let's have a look at the playoff bracket here quickly as we look at the road to this grand final here. And in the first play-in number 1, Tswana took on Kasia, and it seems like the score bracket might not be correct, because Tswana definitely came through to face off against Dynasty Jokers, so that might be another way around. But interestingly so, it was the only finals game that we've seen tonight that wasn't a sweep. Omega Force taking down Accelerate 3-0, and Cubs versus Tswana taking Omega Force claiming the sweep there, and Dynasty Jokers equally over Tswana. So this grand final is definitely going to be something, and it's definitely not going to be a sweep.
There is, I see in chat, Slowpoke saying that he said we get too stressed on stream, and that is a factor. Ultrazim, I mean, we've cast all levels of Rocket League for many years, and that is a factor. You know, it's one thing to arrange a league game during the week at a time that's convenient for both teams, and you're kind of chilling and thrilling. But now is the big occasion, and until you've been in it, and both of these teams have now played on stream, but it's the big occasion, but also you're being watched by your peers, you know, the people who matter to you, you know, your mates. More than anything, you don't want to look like an idiot for them, and that's a huge factor in this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, how long have these guys been advertising, telling their friends at school, putting it on their WhatsApp or Instagram status or something like that? Guys, I am here, I'm playing in the biggest, and now you're going, okay. So if Dogman's right and it's all about the vibes, that might be something that's off kilter a little bit here tonight. But I mean, this is where you've got to learn it, right? I mean, a lot of these teams have had the opportunity throughout the weeks to be on stream. So hopefully they've at least had a taste to get used to a little bit of the vibes. But like you say, grand finals, that is a different ball game. This is where the real big match temperament comes in, and you'll see it. The little cracks will come in. The individual mechanics will start to like fracture just a little bit. The rotations might be half a turn off there. So yeah, we have potential for anything to happen right now.
And what a match we have ahead, Bromeo, from a point of view of we have an undefeated team in Jokers, but then you have Critical Force, who have not lost a game tonight. They have played 7 on the trot. They must have been feeling incredibly confident coming out of play-ins. But man, a 4-0 sweep against the number 2 team, they probably have dangerously high levels of confidence.
Well, that is definitely a statement of intent from Omega Force. And we're going to have a look at it now going forward. But I think that is what it's all about, is that Dynasty have not lost a game this season, and Omega Force have not lost a game tonight. So it is going to be an absolute clanger of a grand final here for this prospect here. And I could not be more excited of.
I'm so excited. You know, we say Jokers, we keep coming back to this undefeated, but they haven't won every game. There's 2 games this season that they've settled for a draw, and one of them back in week number 4 was, of course, against this Omega squad side. So the team that's gotten the closest to taking it away, they had to just level it up. And I mean, when you really are coming off the back of the 4-0 against team number 2, you're going, is there anyone we can't beat? So right now, I mean, we see our roster once more, Clerks, otherwise known as Eclipse, just being a dominant force, really the MVP of pretty much the season. But now Dogman was a really nice, solid third man, but we talk about the vibes, the pressures of a grand finals. This guy's been playing for a year. He hasn't had the opportunity to be in a grand final before, and we did see a couple of moments there from Dynasty in the last game where there were some cut rotations. There were some open goal opportunities waiting for it.
Well, the cracks were showing, but speaking about vibes, we can't forget about High Frequency, because he has also been on another level so far. But having a look at the chat quickly, over 100,000 points have been spent so far in this prediction alone. And currently, Dynasty Jokers are 65% in the lead to Omega Force's 35%. And it's against this team here now of Coconut, Jake's the Snake, Bruv, and Swifty Rocks. Jake's the Snake proving instrumental in their play-in. Now, going into the final, is he going to make the difference?
I think if anyone could, it's Jake's. Jake's impressed me from the moment I saw him. That was one of the things coming in at the beginning of Prospect. You don't really know any of these people, but that's the name that sticks out to me of all the games that I've casted, is Jake's has been great and probably a big part of the games that they won tonight. I mean, we were just casting their last one, so I didn't get to see how they did against the Cubs, but Jake's was phenomenal in the earlier game that I watched him in there. And I mean, when you go Coconut and Bruv behind you as well, who are all like there and thereabouts, these guys have got mechanics, and they've certainly pulled it together in terms of their team cohesion. So, yeah, and you mentioned the points that were actually up there on the thing. It's not all one-sided, so we'll get to see it here as we go into the grand finals. Like Greybeard says, a prospect crown is going to be laid upon the shoulders. One of the teams would love to live up to their name and take the crown for themselves, but heavy is the crown and quickly does it fall as we head into our best of 7. Jokers from the Dynasty squad versus Alpha Force, Omega Force.
What a game this is. Both teams have been fighting all season to be here right now in this very position, but there can only be one winner. There can only be one king of this evening as Jokers take on Omega Force in this best of 7 final, and both are going hammer and tongs, and Dogman taking the early lead for Dynasty once more, and they are starting to set a pattern here.
Oh, the youngster comes through again, has not hesitated when the opportunities have presented themselves and manages to slot that in. Great dunk from high frequency, secured that pass out there and putting Omega Force under an early bit of pressure. They haven't lost the game here tonight, but I mean, this may be one of the first trails that they've had to suffer. And oh, there, Clerks doesn't manage to get hold of this one, trying to find a pass back towards the center. Jake's going to be able to pick it up and just backflips back into a more fortuitous position. Tries to send it a long way down the field. Has at least created some space. Cornflake's going to be able to try and get it past Eclipse on the other side, and Dogman up onto the wall. Bit of a ping pong match devolving in the center of the field right now as Omega Force look to take a step forward.
Both wanting to gain a little bit of ascendancy, both wanting to get a little bit of comeuppance. But right now, both teams know what is on the line, and right now, no team wants to make a mistake. So it has been a bit of a stop-start beginning to things, with both sides being very cautious in how they approach this game. Shot coming through and off the backboard, but cleared by Eclipse. And as he takes his ball into the corner, they're going to want to start setting up for themselves. But Omega Force getting the clear. Whoa. And unfortunately there, Jake the Snake was cut off, but it means he's got some boost, but got bumped. And that will be the attack dead for Omega Force.
Still sitting in a good position, though, to turn this around. Cornflake's going to stall it out with Jake's charging in afterwards. Gets it high into the air. And, I mean, when we look at the two semifinals that led to this, I would argue that Omega Force had the harder oppositions. They might be a slightly more calibrated to the pace that's required here. Jokers might be caught off guard if they're not ready for some of these good passing plays to come out here. And I mean, Omega Force has been doing a good job besides that first goal of holding steady, not giving the ball away too easily, cutting off these passes as they come around. But I mean, when you got Clerks facing up against you like that, we talked about the corners not being a position of danger. It is in the hands of someone who can follow up like that.
What an angle. There was no goal there at all. But then boom, 2-0 to Jokers. They've got 3 minutes left on the clock right now, and Omega Force is going to be a bit of under pressure here, but this is a best of 7. This is a long night still to go, and both will still be fancying their chances now as Dogman takes collection of the ball across field. Not quite the ideal touch there, laying it up for Cornflake. Cornflake takes a shot, but saved by High Frequency.
High Frequency, you mentioned that he's not a player to be forgotten about, and proving it right there, desperately coming through there, even though it looked like the teammate was going to be able to come through, but a great shot denied out there, and a good pass towards the center. Unfortunately, Omega Force grouped up. They're going to commit one person to the rotation, the other one keeping the ball alive for them. Good pass over the top. The read was just not there. So difficult to get your car in the right place. The idea was correct. The mechanics slightly a step behind, but good intention at least shown from Omega Force. And they're hanging around, actually looking for a second touch here. Gonna drop down there. Bruv meets it confidently in the center. Nice pass back towards the center. A bit of space here for Cornflakes to work with, puts it wide, and seems like Jokers have managed to stabilize.
Seems like they have. The tempo has definitely increased. Both sides going for aggressive demos here in field position. And Bruv with an interesting touch there beats the first defender. And luckily cleared by Eclipse as he takes the challenge into the 50, puts it along to the corner. He's going to try and pass. It's up in the air now. High Frequency going to take the shot, and it hits the backboard, but not quite in there. And it looks like Omega Force have survived another assassination attempt from the Jokers here.
Assassination was actually a great way to put that. Oh, another chance comes through for the Jokers, though. This one high and wide. A great pickup from Jake. Sends it a long way down the field. Going to be able to pick up this mid boost and turn this into some extra aggression on the baseline here. Eclipse wanting to get this out. Doesn't manage to get the extra touch. It's rolling fortuitously here for Omega Force. Pops it up in the air as Bruv, but there's still another player turned aside. Double commit from the Jokers, but throwing everything that they possibly could at it. And Cornflakes now keeps it alive once more. This one a little bit too much on the ball to go across the net, but Joker's cramped up. They've got less than a minute to try and stabilize here, try and hold on, and they've managed to do it. So Megaforce threatening, but really impotent when it comes to that final shot.
Not being able to convert on opportunity and field dominance, because it really feels like for the last 2 minutes, Omega Force have been laying siege to this Dynasty Jokers line. And pass coming through from Dogman, but Eclipse not interested to take the shot because there was nobody back So rather electing to make the pass himself, and nobody could get the shot in there, but they couldn't even make the clear either. So just like in no man's land, it remained. And now Cornflake's gonna try and make a last ditch attempt, but it fakes out one. But that will be the game as Dynasty Jokers continue their imperious run of form and taking this first game in the grand final.
And on the other side, Omega Force suffering their first loss for the night. Can't feel good. Something to put their confidence in check. And hubris, they say, comes before the fall. So Eclipse once more claiming the MVP, but certainly not by the most comfortable margins. And I mean, a good number of shots down the other side. Jake's picking up as many as the oppositions, all on their own. So certainly we did mention was the player to watch, but the entirety here of our Omega Force showing their prevalence across the field.
Well, I'd be one to put another chat vote in who is most likely to get a game MVP if it's not Eclipse, because right now it looks like he is unstoppable. He is all over the place, and right now Critical Force's one job is to nullify that Eclipse attack. And Dynasty have been doing so well of asserting themselves, but Critical Force, for the last half of the first game, game number 1, they had the possession, they had all the tools, they just needed to sink a shot. And if any advice for game number 2 is just take more shots on goal, because they had it, they were close. This game is a lot closer than it appears.
And I think those shots are certainly forthcoming. There were the number of opportunities there. Omega doesn't just one and done kind of thing. They don't just take the shot and retreat back out going, okay, I can make no more impact on the play. They were hanging around. They were looking for the passes towards their teammates. They were the little touches that they weren't afraid to. I mean, that's a great dive in there. It's a great shot, in fact. Bruv finds a tiny little angle and zero hesitation comes out of this play. 2 players miss it, and the free-for-all is not able to be shut down by high frequency, leaves the smallest little gap, and Omega Force, they rally back, living up to their little logo, and they strike hard.
Well, there we go, Bruv, taking the challenge in hard. Touch there again by Bruv. Can't get the double shot off, though, and bounces against the post. It's going to be a weak shot there, but they're going to keep it there as Eclipse is going to try and escape from the half. He tries the drop, and that works out very badly. Bruv taking his brace, I think, in less than 30 seconds of regulation time. Wow, what a display from Omega Force on a good start.
You called for someone to challenge Eclipse there, and Bruv stepped up to the task with no hesitation once more. Comes in there. It's a low-risk, high-reward play, and he makes it count. This one again, a loose ball. Omega Force going to be jumping. Jake takes a shot. Only just fended off there by the Jokers. Suddenly heavy as the crown, it seems, as Jokers have it twisted slightly askew. Now looking to come back, level this up a little bit more. A bit of patience shown by the Dogman, chipping it up onto the backboard. Great play from Cornflakes to come off the wall there. And a puff of smoke separates off the final defender. It's going to be once more up to Cornflakes, but he's done well with this. In fact, he's kept going. He's got the dunk there. Jump into the air. The shot is there. Bruv for the hat-trick!
Bruv gets his hat-trick in utter style as Cornflakes with the challenge gets the assist, but what a touch here by Bruv. Gets his hat trick in just under a minute, and wow, what a showing from Omega Force so far as they are up 3-0 against Jokers in a game that just a few seconds ago we would not have called this. We are here to play, gentlemen.
We are here to play. We have a grand finals on our hand. We got denied by 3 of our 4 play-in games going to a sweep, but not this time. Not this time, says Omega Force, as they continue the barrage onto the back line here. Jump up there. First touch doesn't come out there. Jake's shot a little bit wide, but you can see the intensity picking up there. Jake picks up the nice demo. Coming forwards there. Eclipse does not want to challenge this. A rare opportunity here for Omega Force to find some space, and high frequency just has to worry, cannot afford to let the ball go, cannot afford to dive through it. Is the challenge going to come through there? Awkward pass backward, but Bruv, the champion here from our squad in blue, picks it up with confidence and eventually has to settle for it going across. But Jake's coming forward with some speed. The venom of the snake is looking to be unleashed.
Well, Venom is being unleashed so far. Megaforce have shown their hand. They are very capable of scoring goals, and they are intending to do just that. As Dynasty Jokers are starting to look a little bit undone here. Bruv gonna try and make it fall. Can't get the shot off, but immediately putting more pressure on this beleaguered Jokers side as they still maintain this 3-0 lead after halfway through, and it's not looking to change any time now as Eclipse taps it in the corner. Unfortunately bumps Dogman on the way in, and could have been a fun redirect as he pings this up against the backboard. Shot coming off, couldn't get it through. He's going to try and take another shot now. Backboard, he's going to jump for it, but Eclipse making sure that clear goes out. And wow, is Omega Force on fire right now as they play this pass through to the middle, but High Frequency gets the touch. Finally, the Jokers are going to get some attacking play here as they pass it through down to the middle, but a demo on, who was that? Eclipse by Bruv means that that attack fell flat, and we're talking about mitigating factors, but how was that demo on Eclipse?
So good, and I mean, look at the way they challenge. No, we've lost. Oh no. We've lost Jake's the Snake here for Omega Force. That's not good. A minute 30 left. They've at least got themselves a 30-second buffer, so I'm sure it's going to be coming back in here, but a desperate period of play coming out for Omega Force. They need to survive, if nothing else. The pass comes through there. Eclipse looking for the shot. Got to be able to take advantage of the missing third man and sinks in a goal.
Oh no. What a terrible time for a disconnect, as the only time Jokers have found their way through to the back of the net is against two players. So Bruv and Cornflakes are going to try and carry for now as they wait for their teammate to return, and Eclipse is going to want to try and take as much advantage as he can, but that might not be in the script just yet, as Omega Force applying as much pressure as necessary to keep it out of their own half.
Right now, good patience coming out from Omega Force, playing a game of keep away, just sending it high, sending it wide. Bruv doesn't need to put any more stats to his padding to his stats right now, and Cornflakes shuts it down in the center, uncontested by Omega Force, maybe looking to take advantage of the counter attack as Jake's still vacant from the field. Jokers now coming forward, maybe a little bit too aggressively, realizing that they've got this time, but they cannot afford to waste it with this big opportunity, this big advantage that they've got. Ball pops up over the top. Eclipse was hanging around, doesn't actually go for this. High Frequency being challenged. In fact, it's Cornflakes. He's coming forward. It's an optimistic play. Good awareness there from Bruv to not dive into that unnecessarily. It would have been a great opportunity if they had a third man back still just buying the time, counting down the seconds, final 10 seconds, and actually Cornflakes looking to put in an extra cheeky goal, doesn't get away with it, but I mean,
by game MVP Bruv, and wow, what a showing that was.
Yeah, we asked who was going to take it away from Eclipse, and Eclipse managing to get more points than his two teammates together, but it was not enough to usurp the Bruv. I mean, coming through then, what I really like to see about Bruv's goals is that, yeah, one of them was a really nice dunk, but the other two were well-constructed shots. They were well-placed. They had the patience. He had a little bit of space and just the impetus that he came into those challenges with. And, you know, sometimes when you rush a play like that, you lose some of the accuracy. You're so focused on the power and getting to the ball first that you don't realize how I need to actually hit the ball when I get there. And yet he just held it. He held the nerve the whole way through that play, and it was great. So hopefully Jakes is coming back. They do have a sub if they need to pull him in at this stage, but I'm so glad that that game was not actually turned around because of a technical issue. That was a well-deserved victory here for Omega Force.
Well, we've got word in that Critical Force are bringing in their sub. Jake's the Snake is unfortunately not going to feature in this game number 3. Will that be the decider right now? And it would be such a pity because Critical Force just played the game of their lives and brought a little bit of fire to this grand final. So here we go. We're going to go into game 3 shortly, and that sub could make all the difference. So I'm very excited to find out out how this one goes currently, because grand final and we're currently tied up.
Yeah, Jake's. I'm sad that it's Jake's, because he is, like I said earlier, the player to watch. But it's so good to see the rest of Omega Force coming through with their own capabilities. I mean, Bruv did those not because it was just enabled by Jake's. You can't take those goals away from him. That was his structure in those plays. So the rest of Omega Force, you don't get to week number 9. You don't get to the grand finals with a single stellar player. You got to come through as a squad, and that's kind of where Omega Force has it really nicely locked in. I hope that they've played frequently enough with their sub that it's going to still have that sort of cohesion, because it's going to take that against the good rotations Jokers have been offering. But I mean, they still are a solid team, so we'll have to see. Chat saying his power is out right now, so that's not a great time. Not load shedding, we know that much. So imagine it. Remember those days, BeerMasjien? Oh,
let's not talk of them. Let's not talk of those days at all. Chat, just so you know, Critical Force has used their timeout as they attempt to resolve this issue. Good on them. I want them to field the team that will beat this Dynasty side, and right now they are looking really good. So the 5-minute timer is on its way down. There are currently 3 minutes left of that timer, so we'll know very shortly who's going to be taking the field, but we certainly hope it is their superstar Jakes the Snake who takes it through. But that being said, the way Bruv was playing, I think they'd be good either way.
It would be nice to see. And I remember when I said at the semifinals that I was wondering what it takes to beat the Jokers, what their weakness was. Well, I saw it in that match. Very, very subtle thing, but Jokers is exceptionally good at punishing a team that throws away the ball, throws away possession. If you just give the Jokers the space to play and then don't contest them afterwards, they've got the mechanical skills of someone like Eclipse to be able to go and do mechanical rubbish and his musty flicks and his backball reads and doubles and everything like that. But this time they had no space. The Omega Force was on top of them. They were not giving away the ball. I mean, even when they were playing with only 2 players, I mentioned it, they played keep away. They were knocking it to open spaces. They were making sure that it was at worst a 50-50 that they had to chase down afterwards and contend. The rest of the time, it was really nice little passing plays. There were a couple of moments still from Omega Force where the communication just wasn't quite on par and they kind of like cut across each other. We saw that from Jokers as well. But Jokers just really were not allowed to control the tempo there.
They weren't at all, and I think that's such an important point that you've noted here, is that what Critical Force were doing well in that game number 2 is that they were holding the ball close. They weren't just knocking it away. And so many coaches have tried to explain this to my little prospect brain when I'm, trying to get better at this game. But they say, hold on to your possession, take the 50, don't throw the ball away, because you take the 50 and it goes loose in your favor, you have got a shot at goal, and even if it doesn't, you've got your second man back, and you're good. So we currently got 1 minute left on the timeout, so we haven't had a resolution yet, and we're holding thumbs for Jakes the Snake. As chat said, his power looks like it has gone out. Our field correspondent Silver of Azura Gaming and good mate of Jakes the Snake can give us more of the tea as we learn it, but hopefully that does get resolved shortly, because this has been an absolute cracker of a grand final so far. So just want to quickly mention what everybody is fighting for tonight. This is a grand final. There is money on the line, and for Prospect it is a 3,000 Rand prize pool. Both teams now in the grand finals are in the money, and 2,000 Rand will go to first place and 1,000 Rand will go to the runners-up. But we are in game number 3. It seems that Swifty Rocks is replacing Jakes the Snake. We will see if that's an inspired substitution so far as we go into game number 3.
Yeah, it really is big when it comes to the points behind them. Of course, Jakes the Snake sitting on 1155. Oh no, open. Oh, what an extra touch. Swifty Rocks, the 950 sub comes out there with big plays and secures what would have been indomitably a goal through there. Manages to even now come through with the second chip. The attempt goes out there, fakes out one high frequency, has to stay low, be able to challenge that out the back of the net. So certainly Sub living up to their name here, but eventually the long clear, of course, going to be the one to be able to claim first goals. Jokers looking to punish and hit back just as hard as they got smacked in the last game.
Well, it looks like Jokers have spent that time thinking and sitting and ruminating, if you will, on how they got taken down in that last game, and they do not want to see this one happen again. As a shot coming off, and Eclipse with his brace so quickly into the second into this game number 3, as Bruv and Swifty Rocks were rushing back. And unfortunately, this timeout might have killed the Omega Force momentum that they had been building.
And certainly you can see the discohesion with that sub coming in there. There were 2 players in the wrong position, or 1 player in the wrong position. 1 player was there challenging where they should be. Great shots, but it's Clerks once more up to the task of that one. Manages to turn it down to this side. So Omega Force is certainly showing that they are here still to play. Oh, that was a powerful demo to take out Cornflakes, who was set up to jump for that ball. But Omega Force, they're looking to come back. They're going to take a couple of moments to recalibrate how their rotations work. But, I mean, the redirect attempt, great attempt from Cornflakes, but way too much potency on that. And Eclipse now looking for a bit of a breakaway. Couldn't get under the ball to get the flick up there, and it turns over. Omega Force now going to challenge Dogman, who's popped it straight up there, trying for high frequency to win the challenge, but Bruv up to the task. And still, Joker's going to be able to come away.
Oh, honestly, this is an absolute dogfight. Dogman leading the charge, dogging, if you will. Now Swifty Rocks taking possession into the red corner as they're trying to set it up. It looks like there's a rule 1 there. It looks like they're respecting it, so respect to that, because remember, nobody is bigger than the game or that rule number 1. As Eclipse takes it into the corner, it is now a 2v2 game, and it looks like it might pay off as the shot comes off at Cornflakes. Brings one back for this lovely Omega Force side.
No one told Greybeard this happened. We don't need that at this stage. But, I mean, that's one thing that you could do. Swifty, go get yourself into a Rule 1. Take out one of their players at any stage and lock up this. We can take this in a 2v2. We got it from here. Whatever the call was, whether that was intentional or not, it is Omega Force finding an answer, but immediately countered back. It is going to be Clerks. The ever-present, the ever-powerful. Great shot comes out here. What a pass coming through there. I've mentioned it a couple of times. One of my favorite things that I like to see prospect-style teams coming through there, even up to rival. Punch it into the corner. Awkward bounce comes out at 45 degrees. The defenders struggle to get to it, and your player coming in there has a great angle to take a powerful shot.
100%, as it almost worked in Omega Force's favor. They're going to try and keep it in this side, but Dogman on the hunt, pauses, lets the ball go over him as high frequency and Dogman now chase it into the corner. It's going to fall down awkwardly here as Eclipse defending now. Very well challenged there by Cornflakes. He's up in the air. He's going to take the shot and he gets it.
That is phenomenal coming through there. It was the 50 that you talk about. You try and get the ball in the right direction, but the follow-up was calculated, it was confident, the touch was really nice. The defender at that stage was kind of just hoping that he missed it and does not, unfortunately, disappoint for the Omega Force, and managed to pick it up. Once more, the shots retaliating as quickly as they came in, but down to a single goal deficit here for Omega Force with 2 minutes left on the clock. They've got all the time, and they're starting to look like a team that's got some comfort behind them as well.
100%. It's Swifty Rocks providing ample inspiration for this. He's going to try and get the bump through and almost coming away with a very aggressive goal there. High frequency with the boom out. They're going to want to get this out of here as Dogman forces in. He's going to play a little pass down and that could be it, but Eclipse not able to get the touch there. It is an open net if Bruv can gain possession, but Cornflakes now putting into the corner and pinched all the way back to the blue line as Bruv now returns it, and this is turning into a bit of a tennis match as it's hit against the backboard once more. No touch there as Swifty Rocks is going to try and straighten it out, but this is very tumultuous right now. Eclipse is going to try and get the double touch. He almost gets it there, and this is one heat of a final right now.
Man, the chaos that just ensued for a couple of seconds there was spectacular to watch, but it was, of course, Clerk stabilizing that and an attempt from Swifty to try to take it up in the midfield. Clerks once more putting themselves in a good position. Cornflakes turns just as quickly when he realizes that he lost control and picks it up once more. Has to go low, but gives it straight into the hands of the waiting Jokers players. Swifty into the air now, looking to get a touch. Fakes out the Dogman at least when he doesn't get the touch. And Eclipse sitting in his own corner, gets a second touch, finds it a long way down. Dogman with the attempted redirect, but it turns into a pass. And Eclipse, he's so good at those doubles. This time denied it. And Bruv looks to break down the 30-second mark with an extra goal.
Well, here we go. 20 seconds left on the clock. Omega Forces trailing Jokers by 1 goal. They're going to try and reclaim this. Both sides show that they can hit a ball from anywhere now as Eclipse plays it off the ceiling. And Cornflakes going to try and take it up the wall, but challenged by Dogman. Swifty going to try and hit this out, set up the attack. They're down by 1 goal. They need to get it through. It's popped up. Eclipse going to hit it towards his own goal. It just needs to touch the floor, and they managed to get it. But that was a very, very close game. Dynasty coming out the winner, but by no means definite.
This was the grand finals I was looking for. This is what I wanted to see, a tight fight, 1 goal in it between the two teams there. Eclipse just really having to wrench this game onto his shoulders and pick up the hat trick for himself, but 2 assists being there for the taking. High Frequency doing a great job, and Dogman ever presently that third man in the background looking to feed the ball forwards for his 2 offensive counterparts to be able to take advantage of. Cornflakes this time steps up and goes, you know what, bruv, you were the one to try and carry this last time. I'm going to put in my 2 goals, my valiant attempts out of the 3 shots. Great conversion rate to come in after that as well. And I mean, the number of ball touches as well was what you want to see. Everyone's got to get involved right now, and they were so close to doing it.
And what a great display by both sides. Cornflakes having absolute screamer, and Eclipse being as deadly as he always is. So now, game number 4. Omega Force are going to want to tie it up so that they can level the playing field once again. This is knockout rocket football, and that is the result we want to see. We want to see this go to a game number 7. So here we go, leaning into this game number 4. I'm hoping Jakes the Snake is back, because he was looking very confident before his power went out, but this is the nature. It seems like it is Cornflakes, Swifty Rock, and Bruv once again as we head into game number 4.
We talked about the impact. Ooh, bit of an open opportunity there. Eventually going to be squeezed out by Omega Force. Certainly not the most comfortable play for them, but a great defensive work to be able to hold themselves. Something I did notice, though, with the inclusion of Swifty Rocks was there was a little bit of a distrust from the rest of Omega Force. You know, you're going up with someone who's not necessarily going to be able to hit the ball cleanly as you'd like every single time, but it's a great breakaway coming out from Swifty Rocks. Gets the 50 at the end of it, looking to prove to his teammates, guys, I will make it happen for you. Oh, Dogman gets denied by a little bit of geometry there. Got to pass the last defender, but it was just wide for the open goal. And once more now going to be taking another opportunity are the Jokers coming forward. Eclipse with a long challenge up in the air, gets it around, but well touched to the side by Cornflakes. Extra shot coming through there. High Frequency just slows it down, baits out one, but cannot get past the crashing down that was Swifty Rocks. And Jokers now need to find their way out of their own half.
It looks like they do. You were talking about geometry and Dogman, and I don't think you start geometry until you're in grade 10. And Dogman is still not quite there yet, so forgive him, for he does not know yet. But Bruv, now in the corner, trying to take this one out. Couldn't quite get the touch he wanted there. Swifty not with any boost, but Jokers don't know that as they continue to wait patiently at the halfway line. Shot coming across here, but touched by Swifty. And now, if they can keep the attack going, the punch through is made as Swifty aggressively plays it out. And once again, Jokers are finding themselves having to attack from their own corner as this field domination is equal by both sides currently, and no one is currently looking to be the favored team as a shot coming down and saved and pinched. And it could look a little bit dangerous here, but Dogman makes the save.
Bruv into the air. Bruv has made me start to hold my breath every time he's got a little bit of space there after the last game. Oh no, the demo in the backline. I don't know if anyone from Megaforce has realized they haven't. And Eclipse takes advantage. When it comes to being able to take a shot from anyone, it is the Jokers that are back on this. But I mean, there's slight miscommunication. There was the smallest opportunity for Cornflakes to get in front of it, but the final puff of smoke just gives Jokers the opening that they need. It's taken them nearly half the game to get it. They're going to be happy that they look to carry on with their leading streak.
Well, it looks like it's coming down once again. Almost forced through, but that murder that took place on the critical force goal line would be inspired Jokers resorting to hidden violence to get that goal in. As another shot comes through from Dynasty Jokers as Cornflakes going to play it off the ceiling down to Bruv. Bruv's putting it in, but Eclipse, ever present on the ceiling like Spider-Man, make sure that goes nowhere as Dogman dribs one, dribs two, and now currently on the offense. Eclipse is in the middle if he can find him, but can't. And now Cornflakes fakes that one, gets the touch off. Can he get over? But no, he can't.
Forces two to jump in there. That was a great turnaround there. You've got desperate work to do as the third man, and Cornflakes holds the nerve, now looks for the 50, doesn't get it past Eclipse. Eclipse comes out, gets a bit of a challenge down there. That's an awkward bounce there for Omega Force, and nearly finished off there. Very wide shot coming out here from high frequency, gives position away. Cornflakes once more just has that maneuverability, the malleability to be able to come through and change a play halfway through there. So always exciting to see him take it forward. But the Mega Force, they've got work to do. They're the ones now boxed in on their side. Great dunk from Bruv, sends it a long way down the field. High frequency controls it, but dispossessed immediately by Swifty Rocks, who wants to get it in there. Two up there, and now you've given it away. Dogman wants to come forward with aggression, but has killed his own dribble as it starts. But it looks still for that pass out of the corner right now. Omega Force, they jump up with two. It's still not a confident clear from them just yet. It's Bruv up to the task eventually, and Mega Force, they've just got one goal to get, and they've got a minute left here. Jokers just trying to poke and prod, find their way through the stalwart blue back line.
Well, we're speaking of Omega Force malleability, but that just means that they are taking a hammering on the goal line from Dynasty Jokers as an open net finds them as Dogman sinks their second goal, and it's taken a very long time for another goal to find its way into the back of the net, but that could be the straw in this game. This is the fourth game. It will take them into a very good match point if Jokers can get this W. With 30 seconds left on the clock, it is looking more likely, but they're not out yet.
Oh, that goal just seemed like there was a breath taken by Omega Force, and Jokers pounced on it. There was that extended period of aggression that Jokers have been able to put on throughout the season, in fact. And they just eventually got the crink in the armor that they were looking for. A bit of a charge forward comes out here. Cornflakes waiting patiently on the goal line, and he gets the pinch. He gets the angle of the dunk. You could see the intention there to cramp up the defenders. And Omega Force, they've kept themselves with the smallest opportunity. 10 seconds left. A kickoff goal is what is required here. And the Jokers realize their task is not yet done.
Well, Omega Force might have something hidden up their sleeves against this Joker side. 7 seconds left to go. They're going to keep this in the air. Cornflakes coming up, trying to get the touchdown, and high frequency doinks it up, respecting it. But Bruv not getting the touch, and there we go. That could have ended differently, but they needed to do the work sooner as Dynasty comes out in game number 4 victors.
You know, Bromeo, something that's incredible for me in this is I am sold that these two teams are neck and neck in terms of skill, and yet when you look at what the story has looked like leading up to this, Omega Force only won 3 games throughout their 9, whereas Jokers have set with 7 wins to their benefit. You know, these are teams that on paper should not be as close as they are, and yet one more time, it's a single goal determining the outcome right now. Eclipse being taken down by Cornflakes one more time in terms of the MVP. He still gets the medal because he's on the winning team, but certainly a lot more required from the rest of this Joker side.
Well, it appears that way, and nothing taking Eclipse off that MVP spot for now. So chat, don't hedge your bets, because it looks like he is going for glory. So Dynasty now with the ascendancy. They've won 2 games on the trot, and Omega Force is under a bit of pressure now. They need to respond now, and they need to respond fast. This is match point for Dynasty. If they win this next game, it is game over for Critical Force. It will be GG's. This is 9 weeks of league play and 1 night of knockout Rocket League. So Dynasty know what they need to do. They want to finish this game now, but Critical Force also will want to deny them to the very last second. So here we go. Match point Jokers, Omega Force to respond.
And as a response that's required right now, big open opportunity and Eclipse, it's going to, of course, be Eclipse. Time after time is just in the right position, looking for these spots, comes across the goals there. Great little air roll to be able to tuck that back in. And with Bruv's attempt there, card just a little too short. This is why we use the Dominus, guys. No, I don't think any hitbox was getting to that one. The placement was just sublime coming out there, and Jokers waste no time. They have been crowned this entirety of the league play. They have been undefeated so far, and they knew coming into this that they had the confidence. But the double cornflakes, that may be the goal of the entire season. They are not out just yet. So high on the wall, gets the double, rotates the car and says, thanks very much, we'll bring this back by a goal. And Omega Force have fight in them yet.
Wow, what a goal by Cornflakes, taking it off the wall all the way to the backboard and doubling it in. Swifty now trying to get the touch. No boost, doesn't tell Dynasty about that though, as now Eclipse and High Frequency just exchanging a couple of touches in their own corners. Dogman gonna try and straighten it up, fakes it out, had no boost. Now Bruv, full tank of boost, he can do it, puts it through, couldn't get the challenge, as Eclipse is now defending for his life. This is Omega Force applying every bit of pressure that they can muster at this point. They are fighting for their lives. Shot coming off the backboard by Cornflakes. It is disarray by Dynasty Jokers. And right now, Omega Force have their tails up. They want to keep this pressure going the entire way through.
Yeah, Jokers, they've been so potent on the counter-attack. They've got the opportunity. They broke through. They held their line as much as they needed to. As disarray as it was effective in terms of denying Omega Force from that goal. And they've shown if there was ever a team to play length to length in this field, it is the Jokers who've been able to carry it out. So they're going to have to do it right now. Once more, forced against their own backboard. Taking Eclipse out of the play. Bruv's got a bit of space now. Looks it onto the backboard. Difficult shot to confirm at the end there for Cornflakes. Swifty Rock's going to have to get involved as well, but just relegated to a 50 that goes back towards his own net. The shot soft from Dogman is placed well enough as the defender facing the wrong direction gives the goal once more into the champions, into the crown of the Dynasty.
What a reversal of play there by Dynasty Jokers. It was one cruel bounce from Omega Force, allowing Dogman a touch in. But this game is not over yet as Eclipse plays the shot in, and it is now the turn of Omega Force to defend. As once more, Dynasty Jokers are starting to apply midfield pressure, keeping it in, keeping the pressure on as Eclipse once more takes it in, and he's going to get that corner boost for his efforts. Dogman taking the 50, losing possession to Bruv though, but these challenges are unrelenting. There is no ball that is uncontested. Cornflakes coming off the ceiling. He's going to try something magic. He gets the bounce, but not the goal.
Oh, he had the flip there and everything. I believe that he was going to be able to close down that distance, but it's one attempt that's denied. It does not mean it's the last, though, here for Omega Force. They're immediately back. Dogman has to try to get it off the wall. Dispossessed immediately. Eclipse now has to try to get some distance down to the side of the field. Gets the second touch. It's a bit of a breakaway. Cornflakes going to be able to collect it on his own baseline. Not with any space to work with, though. Somehow Omega Force has wrenched back the possession, sends it up high, and challenges down these Jokers on their own line. The pinch. How many more dunks do we need? But Omega denied on that opportunity. It came off 2 pieces of woodwork, and it did not go in there. The Cornflakes sticks around. He makes it count. He gets in the air, and he gets the shots.
Absolutely inspiring play by Omega Force. Spinning is winning, and a shot by Cornflakes makes sure that scores are level in this decider game. It is Omega Force now with the tie. They've got the confidence. They're playing supremely right now. As another shot peppers the Joker's line. There is only 1 minute and 40 seconds away from Joker's making history, but if Omega Force have anything to do about it, they are not done yet. Bruv with possession gets challenged by High Frequency. High Frequency now not being able to get the bump, but it's Eclipse we're talking about here. Cornflakes taking in the challenge there, but Swifty getting the save. And now, challenging another 50. Swifty's in the air, plays it through to the corner, but Dogman gets the clear.
2 players up again from Jokers. They've got to make this count, and a save. Desperate, calling on the angles and the RNG to be able to get that one out, but does get out, in fact, and Cornflakes going to actually have this slower play there. Chips it up a little bit too far out of reach for anyone to get to. Swifty going to be trying to build it around the corner. Cornflakes and Bruv both with a line on this. Bruv going to be the one to settle into the challenge and try to take it forward. Eclipse gives it down. Actually, an inspired play. Dogman has got the breakaway. The 1-2 dribbles come out once more from Dynasty. They keep going up by 1 goal, and this is the 1 goal that may cause all the consternation here for Omega.
Dogman, what a dribble. Sent Omega Force packing for hot dogs. Honestly, that was cold as ice from Dogman, beating the last defender and tapping it in Haaland style. If that is the goal that defines it, that is the goal that they need. That was brilliant from Dogman, but now Omega Force going to need to respond with 30 seconds left. They're under the cosh again. Jokers are 30 seconds away from making history, but Bruv gets the equalizer.
Oh, the challenge is there. The little bit of a soft touch. What a great placement there to keep it just far away enough from Eclipse to be able to reach that, and then follows off with a potent shot. A little bit of a tussle in the background on the goal line. Cleared the 3rd man, and Omega Force, this really is a team with tenacity to be able to hold on. They are never out of it right now. Dogman, the prodigy of dribbles. So nice to see a youngster not necessarily needing to go for flip resets. Dribbles are one of the best things you can practice, and this guy has done so well at it. Can he do it one more time? 10 seconds left, and we could be facing our first overtime of the night.
Overtime, maybe, but Critical Force with possession, passing it back. They'll be happy to tap this one down because they feel the longer this game goes, the better they will do. So overtime, game 4 it is, as we now see the final game for Jokers possibly decided by 1 solitary goal in overtime.
And some space for the Jokers. They're coming forward. Dogman's got some boost, some space to work with. Doesn't manage to get it to ricochet off the back line. Eclipse instead going to try to roll it around there. Well defended from Cornflakes, but this left-hand side of the field just overly populated by Joker players. They're going to try down that line one more time and control. Eclipse takes to the sky. It gets over the top. There's no double to come forthcoming. Dogman tried for it. A bit of a breakaway now. Cornflakes has some space. Bruv gonna take it into the sky. Gets it over High Frequency. Is there the double? No! No shot just there in time. Both teams come out with an extra life, and still we're not done. Straight back down to the blue net, and a miss on the backboard gives the youngster all the space. It is gonna be Dynasty Jokers coming through undefeated throughout the season, and they secure it in a 4-1 victory in the grand finals.
Oh, Jokers, they did it in the end. They took it to overtime in game number 4, but your prospect winners right here, right now are Dynasty Jokers. They took this game from the beginning, and Critical Force looked like they were coming back a little, but very well shut down in the end. Dogman eclipsing Eclipse to claim that MVP. It was the dribble that made the difference, and they will be celebrating hard tonight.
I mean, well-deserved to get that MVP at the end there. I mean, this was the Dogman show, the superhero that we didn't know we needed, and yet it came down to that. All of these shots, the highlights in the background just tell such a story. Both teams being able to show off their offensive prowess. So much in terms of the defensive work from both of these sides not going to be highlighted right now. And I mean, there were so many other opportunities that just aside, but it was Dogman in game number 4 that really came out. But Clerks there, the true person, you got to think that he's got MVP of the series, did so much work and backed up time and time again. I believe that Jokers were the deserved victories, but what a showing coming out here from Omega Force.
Honestly, Omega Force gave us the final that we wanted. It was so hype, and these Omega Force players are going to be proud for the season that they put together.
Yeah.
Bruv, Swifty Rocks, the GM and AGM respectively, doing their franchise proud. I've been told in chat that Bruv is the only player to finish second 3 times in a row for every single season of RSC. So that is a rough record to have. So Bruv will not be happy to take this in, but take a bow. That was the final we wanted to see. As you see Dogman with his dribble, the game-defining moment. And what an incredible final. So very well played to Dynasty. They are your deserved prospect victors, but please, Omega Force, take a bow.
Yeah, I'm genuinely interested as to how this game would have been different had Jake's not disconnected. I mean, that must have been heartbreaking for him sitting on his phone. If you're out there, Jakes, we were so excited to get to watch you there. I think it would have made a massive impact. It could have been that tiny little swing vote between these two teams, but I mean, they still had such a monumental task against them. Jokers come through at the end of the 9 weeks with, 9 victories and 2 draws, not dropping a series. It's just fantastic. And that really does. That's a fitting scorecard at the end of the series. The 12 goals to 12, 36 shots to 34, 14 saves to 13. I mean, it was neck and neck. And yet, that boost consumption stat that I highlighted earlier, the difference maker once more. Joker's just, 10% faster.
Man, what a game that was. Dynasty Kings managed to finish their entire season undefeated. And now, instead of having a logo for a crown, they've got an actual one. So, very, very incredibly well played. The domination of the field, the boost consumption was huge. But to talk about it more, we've got Greybeard here. You must be proud.
Wow. What a performance. I just think, though, with Jake's in there, this could have gone the distance to 7 games. And I can't help, as happy as I am, and I am enormously happy. And to finish the season undefeated is remarkable. But I feel slightly robbed. I think we could have had a banger, but in the interest of my bedtime, it's probably just as well. But wow, we have champions. RSC season 3 has its first champions, and those champions are the Jokers. But I know, but Bromeo, I mean, you must be so pleased. I know, you're involved with the franchise selection process and weeding them out and interviews, but what a pickup! How awesome to have Critical Force with us this season.
Critical Force has proved that sometimes when you take a chance, it pays off with a dividend. So Bruv and Swifty Rocks, take a bow. You've had an incredible season so far, and very, very unlucky to not come away with something tonight. You got so close to taking home some silverware, but I think that Critical Force is represented in every single tier in play-ins or playoffs all the way till Thursday. So there is still chance for Critical Force yet, and I know that Critical Force will be sad that they didn't get there, but they will be happy nonetheless.
All right, well, Bromeo, Ultrasm, you guys have put in a proper shift. Thank you for being here and bringing it to us. And it has gone pretty rapid fire. It feels like the last 2.5 hours have flown by. We've had some astonishingly good action. Wonderful grand final. Critical Force comes second, but it is the Jokers who are the champions. And we will have another conversation with the Dogman. And Dogman, I saw immediately after our last conversation, you jumped into chat and said that was a terrible interview. So
Yeah.
tell me why this interview is going to be better.
Because we're the champions.
Well said, young man. Well said. And we were hoping to get Clarence in here, but he doesn't have a webcam, and we wanted to see that face. But all right, well, walk me through that grand final. You are champions. How much impact did Jakes the Snake leaving, having his power outage and having to be subbed in? Do you think it would have been a lot closer with Jakes in?
You can't really say, because Swifty was better in other aspects than Jake was, and Jake was just a bit more mechanical than Swifty was, but Swifty was still very, very solid player for their team.
Now, tell me, who do you have, if you look at your roster, for you, who was the season MVP?
I think that's quite obvious, but that's not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Clicks. He played well whole season. I thought, this guy's gonna struggle, because it was best of 7 semi-final, best of 7 final, and I just thought he's not gonna be able to keep the momentum, but he kept it up, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy and proud of him. He's come a long way. Frequency too, he's come a long way. He has frequency. I've never seen so much improvements in a player that fast.
And so are we going to see all of you in some of the Rocket League competition coming up next year? We got VS Gaming, which is going to be huge. Of course, RLCS. Are we likely to see 1, 2, or all of you competing next year in Rocket League?
No, Clerks will probably, I'll try my best, but I still have a lot of improvement to do.
Okay.
And I think frequency also. I'm not sure.
And then what about your school? You gotta get your school involved in VS high schools.
Well, we were involved. We did qualify to go to Cape Town, but we just couldn't scrape the money together to go.
Okay, fine. Well, okay. Well, do stay in touch with me about that, because I want to make sure your school and everyone's school is involved in Rocket League. But what a performance! What a season, undefeated. And I don't know. I should have asked Sean about this, because he's the sort of local keeper of the stats. But I don't know if we've had a team go all the way through the season, including the playoffs, undefeated. So you may well have made history tonight.
Yeah, I actually asked Sean, what's the record for the most goals scored by a prospect team in a season? Because we scored 112 goals during league play, and I was wondering, because the closest to us was like 30 goals off.
Did you get an answer?
No, he said he doesn't know.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, listen, huge congratulations to you and to the entire roster. It's been a joy to watch, and the prospect tier is always my favorite to watch. I do think it's the most entertaining. There's always a lot that goes on, but banger. And do you think you make it into Elite for season 4? Rivals or Elite?
Elite. I think Elite's a bit of a stretch. You'll see Clerks there, but I'll probably be in Rival, hopefully.
All right, good. Well done, man. You're a credit to your team, to Dynasty, and to Rocket League. And I hope you inspire an army of other young people to come forward and play Rocket League. So
yeah,
huge stuff. So now, yes.
I would really like if there was much more younger players coming in. Because most of the players are here 17, 18 plus, but I'd love to see a couple of younger players.
All right, well, let's work on it. Let's go and spread the gospel of Rocket League and get that army of youngsters into the game. And then finally, Dogman, you want to give a shout out to anybody? Any last words or shout outs from you?
To our Elite team, I want to say thank you for them for scrumming us as a warm-up. It was a very good warm-up. And then shout out to Zira for when we couldn't find scrims to help us find scrims.
Good stuff. All right, well, go and have a chat with your team, celebrate, and you are now an RSC champion. Prospect champions for RSC Season 3 in SSA, the Jokers. Dogman, thank you very much.
Thank you, GB.
Cheers,
Bye.
man. Man, oh man, oh man. What a night. What a team. What a performance. It was... It has flown by. It felt like it was being sped run at one point with all the sweeps we were having. But Critical Force, a huge shout out for them, just in terms of what they did, what they brought, and how they did. I mean, in their play-in, swept their way through there, swept their way through the semi-finals. Critical Force, Omega Force, congrats. And there we go. We are now 25% of the way through the playoff stage of RSC Season 3. And that is the prospects wrapped up. But tomorrow night are the rivals. My tier, my team are in play-ins. It's a sweat fest. We're up against the ropes, but we're going to do the very best that we can. And then Wednesday night will be the elite tier, and of course followed on Thursday by the big boys. The master tier will be duking it out to find the champion. But by this time on Thursday, we will know all of the champions in all of the tiers, and we will say goodbye to RSC Season 3. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us here tonight. Don't forget, big shout out to our sponsors, Nexa, who are giving us a little bit of cash for the prize pool, which is going to be gratefully received. And then our broadcast sponsors who've been earning their no money tonight, because tonight has been very interesting. It's been challenging. We've had a B stream, we've had camera issues, technical things to look after, a lot of moving parts going on, and they handled it magnificently. So once again, a big shout out to them. And of course, our merch, the t-shirt, don't forget, you got until Friday to get your order in for that if you want to get yourselves a t-shirt. And then that is pretty much going to wrap it up for us tonight. I'm going to have a look if we're going to be raiding anybody, but I'm just having a quick squiz over here, and no, I don't think we are, unless oh no, never mind that. We are going to wrap it up. So to everybody in chat tonight, thank you for being here. Everybody in the prospect tier, you guys have done magnificently. It has been, from me, a real joy to watch you all and to see the magnificent progress of so many of you. And in all likelihood, I'll be joining Prospect next season, because that's how my Rocket League is going right now. But wonderful to all of you. Thank you for being here. I hope we'll see you in the next season. But once again, to our champions, the Jokers, congratulations, you are the champions. And once again, thank you to all the talent, all the production crew for making this happen. But we will see you again tomorrow night, 7:15. Be here, don't be anywhere else. Peace.
And what a shot from Kirica, taking that off the ceiling, underneath the ball, and straight down the middle.
Oh, there it is, out of the blue.
2 seconds left on the clock and the Joker finds something out of nothing.
Now, that pass from Shadow was immaculate, playing it straight down center. Heaty just had to get a touch, and it's all he needed.
Sonic has a chance at an open net if he sees it. Looking for the shot downfield, goes into the corner, Kilogram! He gets the goal!
They're just in front of the net. Nuke barely keeps it out there. It dies on the goal line. The long shot, it finds it through. Entity gonna pick it up.